I can see you guys are already in the comments with some niggatry. Oops, excuse me. YouTube doesn't like when you say stuff in the first 12 seconds of the video. So it's fine. We'll just be demonetized, whatever. But yeah, I can see you guys are already in the comments. Obviously the title of the video is what it is. Today we're going to be answering some questions that my subscribers wanted me to answer. So yeah, I just wanted to give everybody a good evening. And I also wanted to talk about first, what I wanted to talk about is disappointment. I wanted to talk about expectations that I have from my audience and how those expectations can be failed to be met. We did a poll. We did a poll, guys. We actually did two polls. The poll had to do with some videos that I'm planning to release shortly. And a couple of them are put together and just need to be finalized, but I didn't know which one I wanted to do. So I asked my audience. Actually, let me put a poll in the chat real quick as I welcome everybody coming in. Chupidness, welcome. Seventh letter, Chica, Cantor, London Link, welcome everybody. Cheeky banter. Today we're going to be, I mean, if you saw the thumbnail, you saw the thumbnail. Shaw, hello. You're welcome, guys. I want to put this poll in the because I want to ask, which one do you think, guys, which one do you think won? Here were the options. Transracial versus transgender, and whether or not transracialism is valid, why it is that society doesn't accept this. I'm going to assume nobody in my chat probably accepts transracialism as a thing. I don't think this is widely accepted. I have the question of why. And when I ask the question why, usually the response I get is they're just different. Well, why are they different? Because they are. Well, I mean, but how? Oh, well, race and gender aren't the same. Well, I understand that, but like, why? What is it? Aren't they both social constructs, and aren't social constructs malleable? So why can't trans? Right? I've never gotten a straight, concrete answer, so I decided to just do the research myself and see why it is that they're different and not the same, just so that there can be a concrete answer. Obviously, I understand they're not the same, but I have yet to get an answer for that. The next option was going to be about Oreos, people who are Black people who are um, acting white, quote unquote, white on the inside and Black on the outside. We were going to discuss this idea as a concept because generally it's dismissed. But again, I don't think this is necessarily 100% false, and I do think it warrants discussion. There is a such thing as AAVE, there's African American vernacular, there is slang and lingo that Black people do use. Do y'all remember period period girl? This was like a big controversy in BWE because white women will literally adopt Black women's language and go viral with it. So there is a such thing in my mind as language in colloquial terms that Black people use. So to me, there is a such thing as, well, I wouldn't call it talking white or talking Black. I would call it talking with African American vernacular or whatever you may call it. But there is a such thing, and I did think it warrants discussion, even though the conclusion of the video is going to be this is not helpful to call Black people white for talking a certain way. The next topic was going to be the orgasm gap and just what that is, what we can do about it, why it's important to do something about it. Women compared to men don't have orgasms or a lot of pleasure when it comes to sexual encounters with heterosexual men. We were going to talk about why and what can be done about that. The next one was, why do men insult women after being rejected? We already talked about that on a live stream, but I was going to do a video. In the last option, guys, the option that you've all been waiting for, is it gay to give the homies a little bit of head? Is it gay to give the homies a little bit of head? Let's go through the comments. I wanted to go over you people. So we were going to go over you people this weekend, guys, but I had a prior obligation Saturday and Sunday. Sunday I was knocked out all day pretty much, and then the Super Bowl was going on, so I thought people might want to enjoy that. My subscribers said they don't care about a Super Bowl, and I should have just did a live, so maybe we'll still go over you people. But I mean, it's a movie. I guess I'll save it for the review. But welcome everybody. Welcome the other MJ, LC, production. Okay, production said they changed their mind about transracialism. The transracial thing I'm on the fence on. So I've already drawn a conclusion based on the research I've done, but y'all will have to wait to see that in the video. Cheeky Banter sent a super chat. Oh, by the way, guys, we have super chats now and super thanks and membership and all that good stuff. So Cheeky Banter is literally my first super chat. Thank you. He says, now you know I'm probably going to be the contrary thinker over here, my guy, but in good faith. Well, we do love some devil's advocate. I'm not going to be upset at you for coming to play devil's advocate. I hope you're playing devil's advocate and that you're not actually the devil. That's what I hope. But thank you for the super chat. Somebody screenshot it. Actually, I will. This is my first super chat, so I'm gonna screenshot it. It means a lot to me because $5, people don't think $5 is a lot, but you have to think about a $5 fill up before tax is $5. This could be my meal today. So yeah, I really appreciate it. I think white and mixed race people should be able to identify as Black, but when they fill out their racial identity, they have to mark white or biracial. Interesting. I don't know how. Well, I would ask why, but that's not the topic of discussion today. Because to spoil it, yep. Look at the poll. So you guys all know what's going on. 11 votes. I'm going to end the poll. Everybody voted for is it gay to give the homies head? Literally, everybody voted for is it gay to give the homies head. We could have talked about so many engaging things. We could have talked about so many ideas, complex ideas that I believe need discussion. But what you guys wanted to talk about is it gay to give the homies head? That got 51% of the votes. In second place, why do men get aggressive to women who reject them with 25? And in a tie for third, both the Oreo and the transracial conversation with 12%. And I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed, and I want to talk about expectations and why my expectations for my audience is high. My audience is, for the live streams and the videos, it's different. For videos, usually it's men. For live streams, it's women. So the women on my live streams are generally, it's like 90% women, I think 25 plus, usually in the 30 range. And so I need to know what it was about homies giving each other head that y'all wanted to. What was it that piqued your interest? And I've never physically, disappointment is a mental thing. You feel it in your head. It's an emotion. I have never physically felt an emotion until now. It's just something that came over my body that made me physically tired. And I had to ask why. But I'm gonna play my intro and we can get into it, guys, and we can talk about why giving the homies head is not gay. Oh, also, let me put the link in the chat. Before we do anything, I said some comments last week on Themis's podcast. If anyone felt that those comments were inflammatory or they wanted to discuss any disagreement that they have with me about anything that I've said at all, feel free to come up and voice your opinions. I am open to critique. We're open to critique here. I'm willing to be wrong, and that's fine. If you felt that anything I said was unsavory and you disagree with it, I think I'm going to stand by what I said in that video. So I'm not retracting my statement, even though I think I could have articulated myself better. But if you do disagree with that, I will leave the link pinned, and it shouldn't be too chaotic since it's only 30 people watching, so it's fine. Only 30 people. Look, y'all, I remember when it was only 2. But anyway, Cheeky Matter says, nah, bro, I'm probably going to be the devil. Congratulations on being monetized. Thank you. I'm considered red pill adjacent, apparently. However, I'm glad to support opposite thinkers. I don't like echo chambers. Well, we're gonna pull you out of red pill this year. We're gonna get you out of there. We're gonna blue pill you. You know your audience has a tad bit of dust in it. Thank you, Cheeky, for the super chat. So Cheeky was my first 2 super chats, and they came from, apparently he's the manosphere or a red pill adjacent. So I don't know how I feel about that, but it is what it is. Welcome, Marcus. Welcome, Cheeky, by the way, if I didn't say welcome. Cantor on, Lady M, Mara, hello, everybody, D Nice. I agree with you, and I'm willing to say why. Okay, well, the link will be there. But today, just to summarize what we're going to talk about, is it gay to give the homies head? We're also going to talk about, we're going to be talking about the 90-day rule. That's actually what we were supposed to talk about this weekend. To summarize what that is, it was popularized by Steve Harvey. Basically, he says that women shouldn't have sex for the first 90 days of dating or relationship, and that this will lead to successful, just to summarize, this will lead to successful relationship and stop you from being taken advantage of and stuff like that. Outside of that, it was just going to be people who disagreed with me, as well as that 90-day rule. But since you guys wanted to talk about giving the homies head, let's talk about that. So this is it gay to give the homies head? Obviously, I'm going to assume most of you would say, yes, that is gay. Here's why you're wrong. First, let me put a disclaimer. I don't give my homies head. Apparently, this is something that you have to put a disclaimer about when you're talking about a topic like this, or people will get the wrong idea. But I don't think it's gay. First, we have to talk about, is it gay to suck dick? Obviously, no. Women suck dick after all. And sucking dick is an action, and I don't believe actions are gay. You have to quantify those things. So no, sucking dick is not gay. Now let's quantify that. Is it gay for a man to suck dick? Is it? Obviously, no. I'm so sorry, guys. There's I have something in my throat. Wait. Language. Wait. That didn't come out right. I don't have anything in my throat. I'm dry, raspy. So when it comes to a platonic relationship with your guy friend, okay, let's just back up. Is it gay for a man to give another man head? No. Again, giving head is an action. Being gay, to me, is a mindset. So what if, for example, in the Black community, which I assume a lot of you are from, hello, Duck Kid. If I remember correctly, you are underage, so this may not be the conversation that I think you should partake in, but welcome. Be sure to leave a like on your way out. But what if popular Black community scenario, you are held at gunpoint. You and your mom are held at gunpoint, and The assaulter says, would you rather suck dick or watch your mama die? Now, this has been a question plaguing the Black community for ages, the Black male community. Of course, a lot of men would say, I would gladly suck a dick to avoid my mother being killed. Does that make him gay? No, no, not at all. You see, there was no consent here. Do you understand? So when we rob someone of, well, there is consent because obviously you can say no, kill her, or maybe it's your life that's at threat. You suck my D, or I'm going to kill you, right? Obviously, you can still say no in that scenario. But what choice do you have, really? You don't really have a choice. This would be an extreme form of coercion, or I don't know what the literal term would be, but you're being robbed of your consent. So for you to give head in this scenario, a man with a gun isn't your homie. So we're breaking it down, right? We're not just talking about the homies. We're going to talk about whether or not sucking dick as a man is gay first, and then we can get into sucking the homies dick. And no, sucking dick as a man is not gay because of this very example. The context matters, right? If you're being held at gunpoint, this is rape, or this is coercion. At the least, it has to be coercion. Now, what about consensually sucking a man's D? Does this make a man gay? Still no. For you see, gay, again, to me, is in your mind. What it means to be gay to me has nothing to do with your actions as a man and everything to do with what you think. I believe a man can be in a relationship with a woman and having sex with her and have children with her and be gay. Because to me, what gay is a romantic and or sexual attraction to other men. Can you be in a relationship with a woman while not being attracted to women? I absolutely think you can. Even though I was saying it with a straight face. Why do y'all think I'm playing? Even though I think that's unlikely. I don't think it's a lot of down low people in relationships. But yeah, I believe there can exist a scenario in which you're giving head even though you're not sexually or romantically attracted to men, i.e., we did the gunpoint analogy. I don't know any other analogy that I can use at all except the gunpoint. But I don't know what other situation you would be in to make you be doing this. But it must exist. It must out there somewhere. So with that being said, is it gay to give the homies head? The answer is not necessarily. However, if you're giving the homies head because you are romantically and or sexually attracted to men, I believe this is gay. If you are giving the homies head because he had a bad day at work, and his wife is giving him lip or something, and he just, the way that men bond is different from women. Actually, it's not that different because there are women who they make out with each other. We don't call these women gay, do we? The women who go to the sleepovers. Y'all think I don't know about the sleepovers? They call it what is it called? Experimenting. I don't know what they call it these days, but back when I was in school, it was experimenting. So yeah, that's I'm gonna leave that topic there, and maybe we'll make a video on it. Probably not. Also, this is a good point to announce the membership. I now have a membership. It is 99 cents. That is the lowest that YouTube will let you charge. That is probably where I'm going to put videos that I don't want to be out there in the public YouTube sphere. Maybe videos about whether or not it's gay to give the homie head is not something that I want, someone to be able to come and just see that. I don't know that that's a good representation of what we do here. So maybe that will be something that we hide for only people who are duress. Thank you. That's what it's called, under duress. Yes. What if a man is giving head under duress? What if seeing your homie sexually frustrated puts you in a form of duress, and you feel pressured to. Anyway, I'm gonna let that sentence run on into air. We don't have to finish that sentence. But that's how I feel about the giving the homies head. Never personally done it myself. Don't think I will. However, I'm not about to. I'm not about to knock homies who do that. I'm not gonna do it. I just won't. Next, we're gonna talk about the 90-day rule, guys. So again, to summarize what the 90-day rule is, it is something that was popularized by Steve Harvey. He says that women shouldn't have sex for 90 days, and that this will lead to better relationships and more success in your dating. Um, the reason that I bring this topic up is because the men have now made a 90-day rule. The men have now made a 90-day rule. And first, I wanted to look at some of the responses to the 90-day rule from what I guess I would call these people manosphere, red pill, or whatever, as well as now looking at the men's 90-day rule. Which one should we look at first? Let's look at the men's first, since we know what the no, I don't want to do that first. Let's watch Melanie King has a video. So I wanted to add this to the screen, and I wanted to just watch a little bit of what she was saying about the 90-day rule. Let's put this.
In this video, we'll be breaking down the 90-day rule and why it doesn't work and what you should do instead.
Oh, I must have missed this. I watched this a little bit of it earlier. I didn't know she said that the 90-day rule doesn't work. So yeah, I guess a lot of people believe it don't work.
The 90-day rule has been around for some decades, kind of in different forms. However, it didn't become popular until Steve Harvey made it a principle in his book, Think Like a Man, Act Like a Lady. It was further catapulted into mainstream when the movie version came out. In it, Megan Good plays a character by the name of Maya, in which she tries this out on a man she's dating. Sick of hookup culture, she decides to try something new. By using this technique, she's able to change a bad boy player into a marriage-minded man simply by withholding sex from him.
I actually don't feel like watching her video. Wait, I just want to say I disagree with what was just said. I don't think by employing a 90-day rule for sex that you're going to change a player into a good man. I don't think you can change a player into a good man. I think that's kind of internal work that person has to do themselves that you can't affect. I don't think no amount of standards or boundaries that you set for yourself in your life is going to make someone else act differently. In my mind, the rule is to avoid certain scenarios. It's a boundary for protecting yourself, and it's not to change somebody. So I just wanted to say I disagree with that.
While on the surface, this seems like a good recipe for success, there are several flaws in it that need to be addressed. Sure, things work out for characters in a movie, but real life is not scripted. Movie plots are designed to fit a narrative created by a team of writers. They are looking to entertain, not be realistic, which is a shame about this movie in particular because it's based on a self-help book that is supposed to guide women on how to find long-term love. Now, let's break this down. To start off, Steve uses the example of when he got a job at the Ford Motor Company. He was placed on a 90-day probation before he was able to get a benefits package. He had to prove his worth to the company before they would give this to him. The problem with applying this logic to dating is flawed, and here's why. Steve did receive benefits from the day he started working. Well, most likely after 2 weeks of work, when he would receive his first paycheck. He didn't work for free during this probationary period. After 90 days of proving that this relationship was beneficial to both parties, then the company would up the benefits further. Okay, they did not give him anything. They further upped it by offering whatever was in the benefit.
I didn't know if you came up because you had a disagreement or if you wanted to comment on what I was talking about earlier regarding giving the homies head. But welcome, Cantor.
No, it was about the 90-day rule. I was really agreeing with you that I think it's kind of ridiculous And then it doesn't really pertain to everyone's situation in the first place. So let's say you and whoever you're dating at the time, you get together, but let's say one or both of you have to leave for work for like 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. Like that's a huge chunk of time within that 90 days. If he's, I guess, putting it towards like someone who's regularly dating. And either way, it doesn't matter because you can't really make someone do anything. If they don't want to be with you, they're just not going to be with you.
So do you think the 90-day rule is useful at all if it's a man who gonna do whatever is gonna do whatever, and 90 days ain't gonna affect nothing?
I
Do
don't
you
think it's
think
going to do anything.
so? Do you guys want to? Her video is 12 minutes. I don't really want to go through all of it to get through her points. Maybe I can find. I mean, I have a YouTube short, and it kind of makes the argument in like 30 seconds. So I'm going to play that instead, and we can get into what I feel like are good counter argument, because most people, it seems like most people in the manosphere agree with you. A 90-day rule is stupid, because a man's just going to, especially if you tell them that you wait 90 days, they're probably just going to bide their time, and that makes the rule redundant and blah, 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 blah. So let's see what the men had to say.
That and they'll just sleep with someone else while they're waiting. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
that's what the men say usually. He's just sleeping. The type of guy who's high value is not going to wait for 90 or anything similar to that, pretty much. So let's see what the men have to say.
No, I'm talking about for the situation. Okay. Women in their mind feel like they don't want to have sex sooner because two things. They feel like the man is not going to value the situation in the relationship, one. And then two, they feel like most men are just out to get some pussy and then they just going to stop with them after they get the pussy. And the reality of it is, it don't matter if it's 1 day, 90 days, 100 days, right?
If I was just
if I already only want the pussy, that's not. It don't matter,
ladies. This is true.
No, I'm telling you.
Like, yo, it don't even.
You can't control it.
Women don't realize sometimes
it does not affect the end result. And the end result is I was a fuckboy, and I'm willing. Look, in my fuckboy ways, I'm willing to wait 100 days to be that fuckboy that I am. That's it. So guess what? Whether if it's 100. 90, it could be 2. Yo, I know some niggas that deadass played the game for years until they finally caught that shit. It's not the.
Woo. So that's how the men feel about it. If I'm a F boy, I'm just gonna wait until that 90 days up and be a F boy and then dump you then. So it's redundant for you to have that rule. And you said you agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I just think that it's better to just have just general standards, and that's probably going to weed out like 90% of these types of guys anyway. And then if you want to, like, go ahead, I don't care, but like it shouldn't be this is this one little rule I'm going to stick to, and anyone who gets past that is probably going to be a good man. That's not necessarily true.
So in my mind, I don't disagree with you. I think if someone's able to meet your standards and it takes them 3 weeks or 2 months or a day, some people have sex on the first date, I don't necessarily have a disagreement with that. I just think, I mean, we've talked about vetting before, and what I think this is good for is you can have a perfect first date with no red flags and all the boxes are ticked. And what I've heard is everything was nice. The date was nice. We had so much fun. Went back to my place. We did it. He woke up and said, "Oh, I had a great time. I'm gonna text you after work. Can't wait to talk to you." And he left, and I never got a text back. What happened? Everything was going so good. And the response I see from men is he was just doing all the stuff that he knows you like so that he could get in your pants and then leave. I feel like to keep up this facade for an extended period of time, they're saying 90 days is not likely, even though those men were like, "Oh, I'm just going to wait 90 days to do da 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 da." I don't think most men will wait 90 days. I think not only is it like a tool as far as protecting yourself from being used, but I think the type of person that man is will come out. Is he about to start begging? Is he about to start, come on, let's just do it, come on? Is he going to respect your decision to your body? Is he going to say, okay, well, I should be allowed to cheat, right? I feel like some stuff will come out if you employ this rule. The production said 90 months. Now that's a little ridiculous.
I guess because I'm saying it like there's no one set number that's going to be a great number. I personally think you should wait, but that doesn't mean that it has to be exactly 90 days. It could be 5 months. It could be 2 months. It could be 6 months. Personally, I wouldn't even sleep with them unless we were all like, we've already established that we are going to be in a relationship in the first place. So a lot of guys are so afraid of that they'll run just from that.
So here's how I think it should be employed so that it's not like a hard stop. I agree with you. I don't think it should be like a hard 90-day rule or whatever. I think that's good. I think it should be like a guideline, and it doesn't necessarily have to be 90 days. It takes different people different amounts of time, but I think it should be a guideline. Like the way that I date, I think the talking stage lasts for like a week or two. Dating lasts for like 4 weeks. By that time, I feel like you should know if you want to be in a long-term relationship. That could be 6 to 9 months before you feel like you know this person well enough to marry them, right? Obviously, this doesn't mean that every single relationship goes through the exact same. Okay, we've been talking for 2 weeks, now we're dating. Okay, we've been dating for 4 weeks, now we're in a relationship. Like, it kind of varies depending on the person who you're talking to. Everything, people are individuals and unique. But as a general guideline, I do think it works for protection. Like what you're saying, even if you employ these standards, I still think it's good to maybe have, I don't know if 90 days is the number I'd use, but just to have a buffer before you'll have sex, even if you feel like your standards are met and that the person is not bad or anything like that, and you don't think they'll leave you or anything like that. I still think it's good to have a form of protection. So my first thing would be, I guess, should you tell them about the rule?
No.
I think you should be honest with a person. I don't know if I would tell someone I have a 90-day rule, because again, I feel like they're going to weaponize that and now play the game. So when it comes to how to present it to a dating partner, I think I would be upfront and outright about this. But the approach that I would take, number one, because I don't know if it's a hard 90-day rule in my mind, maybe suggesting that the two of us go slow with intimacy until we know each other better, and letting them know that this might take some time. I think, as opposed to saying, hey, I don't have sex for the first 90 days, right? I think that's much better. To me, it communicates the same sentiment. And like you said, it's more about standard and getting to know someone as opposed to just having a hard 90-day rule. Would you agree there?
Yes, I agree with that. I just feel like you should just wait to get to know them a little bit better. 90 minutes is not long enough, Cheeky. Absolutely not.
Cheeky said, so it works both ways. Maybe men should try it too. Oh, we're going to get into the men's 90-day rule, because the men made it not. They made 10 rules, actually. Hold on. Let me see how many there are. The men made 9 rules. They have 9 90-day rules. And they are interesting to say the least. So I'm gonna just get through this. Why I think a 90-day rule is beneficial, at least for sex when it comes to women, and then we can get straight into the men's 90-day rule, because I was very interested to know. I was very interested to know about that. What I think you can get for the rule. Number one, I think it may be difficult to follow, especially if you've had sex early in your relationship before. And there has to be some payoff, right? Or it isn't worth the effort. And I think the ways that it can benefit you is that you will feel, for example, more comfortable when you have sex. I think a lot of women feel uncomfortable having sex with someone they don't feel close to or barely know. At least from what my women friends tell me, they can end up in a situation where they're experiencing a lot of anxiety over it. oh no, I went home with this guy and this is like our second date. I don't really know him that well. Men are usually bigger than girls. He's bigger than me. He weighs 100 pounds more. What if he wants to have sex and I want to say no? Is he going to get violent? Is he going to get right? We talked about I think a week or two ago, men who insult or get aggressive towards women who reject them. It's not just like on the street rejection. It can be rejection in a marriage, in a relationship, a rejection of sex or whatever. So they can find the experience unpleasant because they're doing it for a reason other than wanting to do it. They might be caving to his pressure, to current cultural attitudes, other influences. But if they spend more time together before sex, then I feel like she'll already feel close to him before sex happens. So that's just one way I think it can be beneficial. Another way I think is that you can feel more in control of your own body and your own decisions, to relate to that last point. And I think this sets you up to build a relationship between two people who respect each other's boundaries. Um, that way, the relationship is more balanced in my mind. Like, I think this is a way for you to maintain independence within a relationship. If you consider dating a type of relationship, which I do, and you hold on to your individuality. The next thing I think is important is that you can learn a lot about your date during 90 days. And if you want to chime in at any time, you can. It's open. Don't feel free to interrupt. But I think you can learn a lot about your partner in 90 days. Again, it doesn't have to be a hard 90 days or anything like that. But employing a rule like this, I think, can end in the two of you developing a close and long-lasting relationship. So, or it can lead to you learning things about your date that's not right for you. So to me, it ends in one of two ways. Either you develop something close and long lasting, or you learn something about your date that makes you not want to date them. And thank God I didn't give myself up to this person now that I know, more about them and we've been dating for a while. Or it may result in him giving up and leaving the relationship too. And I think this starts to become things that you can learn about him. Is he willing to invest time in the relationship? The rule is based on time. Time is valuable. It's a valuable commodity. If a man is willing to put in time to develop the relationship before having sex, I think it says something about him and his view of the relationship. It may show that he's patient, or it may reveal that his view about the relationship is that it's worth waiting for a higher payoff by getting to know somebody. There was research in a study on game theory and dating, and in the conclusion, it showed that men who had longer dating efforts showed stronger courtship signals, and they were people who were waiting longer to start doing serious stuff in a relationship. These types of men were more likely to take care of their young when the sex leads to having children out of wedlock or something like. So there are positive traits in men who wait. Outside of that, you can see what he does when he doesn't get what he wants. One thing I think is important you'll find out if you wait for sex is if he isn't willing to wait. That is, you find out how he responds to the word no.
That, or he gets pushy. Like
yes.
And then you can just eliminate him right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty easy.
And this can be an indication of how he will be when you refuse other requests down the line. If he has an angry outburst, if, like you say, he tries to manipulate you into having sex, beggars, oh please, well, why, what, like the begging, no. These are some unhealthy habits. And if he reacts, of course, by taking what he wants despite your protest, then of course we know that he's prone to violence and other things that YouTube don't consider friendly to mention on stream. But if he respects your wishes and remains kind to you, then you know he has a healthy attitude towards sex, in my mind. So yeah, imagine rejecting. In my mind, I feel like if you say, I think we should wait to have sex until we get to know each other better, and he starts launching into that, don't you know that a guy, why should I wait? Don't you know that a high value man doesn't wait for sex? Okay, so you're content with me cheating on you, right? Since I'm waiting, I have to get it from something, right? If this is how it is in the dating stage, this is probably how it's going to be in the relationship and in the marriage. And there are, like, I feel like this is real. I feel like I definitely see dudes, especially in the red pill and the manosphere, talking about, if my wife doesn't put out, then I'm cheating. and she has to accept that because she like, okay, so I feel like this is something that a 90-day rule might prevent, because now I'm gonna see this man showing this type of behavior before he gets in the relationship. Let me get in the comments and see what the people in the comments are saying. You can add anything if you'd like to. It's called the long game. Yeah. And then for the men who do like just put up a facade, I feel like you're much less likely to experience that waiting 90 days. I feel like a lot of people gonna give up early, especially if they don't know that you have a hard limit. Give people time to reveal their true selves. Yes, they a person is gonna come out and show you who they are.
But
More
gorgeous, I
often
would
than
also add, just give them the space to tell on themselves, because a lot of men I've known, like I've met, have told on themselves within like 2 or 3 days. Like, I don't know what it is about them, but they will tell on themselves, like whatever. But it's pretty easy to get rid of some guys because they just tell on themselves.
I see Cheeky.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, good evening. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Can't complain.
Okay. You are here to talk about the 90-day rule, or you're here to talk about the homies giving each other head?
Oh man, I'm not going to debate you on that second one. You can have that. Whatever you think is what you think. But the 90-day rule, I think there's a lot of issues with it. Not even necessarily for the woman that's keeping it, but more so for the cultural environment we got today. All right, so I don't think most women. I think if we're being honest, women enjoy sex as well. So women's discipline with that, I don't think is going to be all that high, because I'm sure there have been women that have had this plan, and just like most people in general, when it comes to doing something long term, they don't sustain it. But for the ones that do sustain it, the problem is the women around you aren't sustaining it either. So it leaves that open market, like you guys are saying. Hey, well, if you wait 90 days, I can just go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying?
So when it comes to women also getting pleasure when having sex, you think of sex as like an equal exchange, right? Obviously, the men are getting something.
I don't. I don't.
Hmm?
I don't think. I think sex, the act itself, may be an equal exchange, but the experience is not. I think when you look at the studies on women that actually orgasm during sex, if they're not in a relationship, the numbers don't show that they enjoy it. As a matter of fact, the numbers on the CDC say that most women don't want to have sex because it's not enjoyable. At least that's what they report. Now, this is self-reported stuff.
Isn't this a contradiction, though? You said one of the reasons is women won't be able to control themselves because women also get pleasure and they'll want that pleasure from sex. But now you're saying that there's a orgasm gap in that women are.
So just because they may not experience a quote unquote orgasm doesn't mean that they don't want a relationship or that level of intimacy with a man. Right? I think sex is the embodiment of that physical intimacy that they look for emotionally, right? Which is why I think a lot of them give up sex, not necessarily because they want to, but because they want that intimacy, and they're thinking that giving sex to that man could get it from them, potentially.
So I'm still not putting two and two together, because it makes it feel like you're saying sex isn't really as pleasurable or even orgasmic for women as men, but they're engaging in it because, like, the way that you're describing it, this doesn't make me feel like women need to have sex sooner. If anything, this makes me feel even more like they need to wait to have sex.
So I think I would agree. I think women do need to wait. But again, the problem with waiting, there's some issues that come with waiting. One, I think that experience of sex and that experience with, like, when someone loses their virginity or get a taste of something that they've had, even if it wasn't the most enjoyable, it's a lot better than being by yourself and celibate in most cases. Because I've asked women, hey, are you willing to be celibate for a year? And most of them say, no, not really. Or I've even asked I've asked a better one, because, a lot of complaints from women is men are whores. So would you be with a virgin? And the answer is no.
Oh, wait. Happy
I'm
early Valentine's Day, everybody. I completely forgot Valentine's Day is tomorrow. I'm single and won't be celebrating. Actually, I might take myself to a restaurant. But sorry for interrupting. I just wanted to say that.
Oh, dog, no, come on, man. I'm gonna have to take you out. You know what I'm saying? Because
Well, look, you didn't want to comment on homies giving each other head, so that now makes me concerned about what your intention may be when it comes to taking me out. But I won't. I'll leave that up to you. Empathy is a superpower. Said I've been celibate for over a year. I enjoy keeping my body to myself. Happy Valentine's, Prince.petti in chat. Now,
yeah,
when
I
it
was
comes
about to
to
say I'm not sure what woman he talking about because I'm like,
when it,
it's not that hard to like not be sleeping
now
with
now
everybody. That is
okay,
ridiculous.
all right. Well, this why I'm here. I'm here to be the contrarian thought.
Well, I
I
was about
thought
to say I don't know what woman he talking about.
now when it comes to someone not wanting to maintain celibacy, I don't think I disagree with you there. I think most people, men and women, want sex, even though generally it seems like, based on the research, men tend to be more aggressive in their pursuit of sex than women are,
Mhm.
and more interested in it than women are. When it comes to someone who celibacy, so is celibacy when you wait for marriage, or is that just when you have a period of not having sex?
It's just a period of not having sex. But
So
I think
also,
abstinence is
do
the
you
same.
think intimacy and sex are the same thing? Because
Who?
I don't. That's not the same thing to me. Not
I don't think.
necessarily.
I don't think that they're So I think that sex should be, if it is not, the expression of physical intimacy or the expression of emotional intimacy, right? Like if you're the idea is I'm having sex with this person because I feel emotionally connected to this person, both man and woman. I feel safe around this person, both man and woman, and I'm expressing my quote unquote desire or love through sex.
But do you think that's the only type of intimacy there is? Because it's
No, that's the most
because I
common.
don't even
Well,
think it's the main one.
that's
maybe
the most common that men are going to wait. So if we're speaking on a man's perspective, yes, that like
I
I
think
don't
that's
know.
I think that's kind of a problematic view. When I think of intimacy, I do place it into very distinct categories. I think sexual intimacy is a thing. I think physical intimacy is a thing that I separate from sexual intimacy. I think emotional intimacy is a thing that I also separate mental intimacy. I think you can show intimacy in a couple of different ways. Maybe talking to your partner can be a form of emotional or mental intimacy. Holding hands, cuddling, stuff like that can be physical intimacy, and sex is obviously what I think of when I think of sexual intimacy. Now, those things can mix and overlap. I agree with you. I don't know if I do agree with you that I think men tend to try to get everything out of sexual intimacy, but I don't know that I would consider something like that healthy, and that I don't think I would want to engage in a relationship in that way, or I would encourage men to engage in that way, or encourage women to like engage with men who engage in that way. So I mean, I would probably recommend that women don't date someone who, in the way that you describe, men are looking for all of their intimacy from sex, or a majority of it. I don't think I would encourage anyone to date someone like that. That feels
That's
unhealthy.
not what I said.
Okay,
So
you can clarify.
all right, because again, I think you can experience intimacy in different forms, like you all are saying, but all of those things tend to lead to the most intimate moment in most cases for considered for women to be sex, right? Because if sex wasn't that such a big of a deal, then just have sex and be okay. What's the big problem? Why are we waiting 90 days? What does it mean?
I think it has to do with, like you said, a lot of men place all of this type of value on sex. So if a woman is having sex with a man, immediately this man has gotten everything that he needs, and he's perfectly comfortable now ghosting, discarding, or doing something like that. A man who may place more value on different types of intimacy, emotional or etc., he may be comfortable having a longer form relationship with a woman without sex. Not a lot of guys, I assume, are going to do that. So by employing this 90-day rule, you'll be able to kind of weed out those types of men.
So it sounds like it sounds like both men and women place an extreme amount of value on sex, because if it wasn't the case, then that means that women would be or should or would be having sex freely. But oftentimes when you hear them talk about sex, they don't want to do it with just anybody because they want to be emotionally connected. They want to feel trusted and safe.
So I don't think it's that women are placing value on sex. I think it's they're understanding how men place value on sex and they're responding in that way.
Okay, well,
I
you
think,
mind if I ask Cantor on and Afri? Because I'm just curious to hear their thoughts.
may I
Yeah.
just make one comment about that? Because
Yes, ma'am.
I think you're equating as wanting, like, putting value on safety and like connection to placing value on sex. That's not the same thing. Like if you're doing all that work waiting because you want to be emotionally connected, is because you're placing the value on the connection, not necessarily the sex itself.
Is that a question or is that just
No, I'm just saying this is a statement.
Okay,
It's
gotcha.
not a question.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna take a step back and just let the women speak.
You said you had a question for the women, or
Yeah,
Afri, if you're here, Free, and you've been waiting, if you want to say something. Okay, well, Chief, he said he had a question for the women since they're here. So,
all right. So, Cantor on. What does sex have any value to you? Is it a large value, or can you quantify that at all?
Can't really quantify it. Is there value? Yes. Is it as much value as like one not picking up diseases and the emotional connection and everything else? Not really. It's not as valuable as the other stuff.
Okay, so
At least not to me. I don't know. Everyone's different. So some women it might be, some women it isn't.
okay, so I guess my next question would be, do you think most people, do we think most people experience emotional intimacy during sex as well as physical and sexual?
Some people. I don't know what the ratio of that would be because I'm
yeah,
not in their heads. I don't really know who actually
Okay.
puts
I wouldn't.
real.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You can go ahead.
I also wouldn't know how to quantify something like that. But wouldn't it be an issue if, like, sex is something that happens maybe a couple of times a week if you're in a healthy relationship, and I assume most people my age and above have jobs and can't just be jumping in bed like rabbits. I don't think when it comes to what's more important, you didn't ask me, you asked the women.
Yeah, but you good.
I would consider again, I named sexual intimacy, mental, emotional, and physical. Generally, I think I would place all of these as equal. However, if I'm seeking all of this intimacy or even a majority of it in sex, I feel like the marriage is going to be failing elsewhere in a way that it won't be failing if I'm in a marriage and we have physical, emotional, and mental intimacy. I feel like that marriage can last without sexual intimacy. If for some reason my girl had a lowered sex drive, or I had a lower sex drive, or maybe it's after women have children, generally they're not supposed to have sex for 2 months or something like that. I think the relationship can last through that a lot better than it can if me and my wife stop talking for like 2 months, or I'm giving her the cold shoulder, or I'm a brick wall or something like that. So as much as I would like to make these things equal, I don't see myself being able to, because especially without mental and emotional, I feel like the marriage will legitimately fail if this is something that happens for an extended period of time. Whereas sex, I feel like, shoot, as you get older, that's probably something that libido is going to lower in you,
Testosterone and whatnot.
Hmm?
Set testosterone and whatnot, all of that, right?
Yeah, those sperm are going to die. Men are hitting the wall, and they're hitting the wall fast these days.
Hitting it hard and fast, buddy. We just we need the blue chew. After you came off mute.
Not the blue chew.
No, come back, Petty. Nah, don't hide, buddy.
Afri, you've been waiting for a while. You can comment on anything.
I I had nothing to say to that. You know what's interesting is that when I ask older married couples what their secret is, you know, how long, because they've been married couples who have been like, married for like 20 plus years, they always say sex. Like they always say, just keep having, like, have constant sex. Like just the other day, this lady who was at Walmart, who I was shopping with, she was like, the military man or whatever type of man you with, you just gotta, even if you're arguing with them, you just gotta give them, y'all just gotta keep going at it, even if you're mad. So it's just interesting to see a different perspective.
So was I've heard similar things as well, right? And the thing is, I'm not um I'm not trying to equate uh emotional intimacy, physical intimacy, and I don't know, intellectual conversations or whatnot to sex, but I think they're intertwined, right? And if you don't have a balance of those components, then you're definitely going to feel the man is going to feel away and then the woman's going to feel away, because there's definitely cases where the woman's sex drive is higher than the man, and there's a problem. Like, hey, we got to do this more. So it's not. So here, and again, I'm not saying that is the normal case, but there are cases like that. And guess what? Even with those cases, the women are still going, hey, we need to have more frequent sex.
I don't know if I apply this logic in a reversible way. I feel like if you have um if you have amazing emotional chemistry, mental and physical chemistry, I feel that sex isn't going to be an issue in the marriage. And to be without sex again, I think you're going to be fine.
Do you think
In a
that
marriage,
the reason why people say have constant sex is because most people aren't able to establish like that emotional connection with their partner or that connection phase, and they don't know how to keep it up?
I think that's a big part of it, for at least for women who cite why they don't feel like having sex when they're in a long-term marriage. For men, um, these men are ready to go whenever, all day, every day. Apparently, nothing is holding them back, although there was some research to indicate that men who feel emasculated and such in their relationship don't have lower libido, or men who are facing depression and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I guess yeah. So it would be, yeah, emotional. Um, your I guess your emotional well-being and your mental well-being outside of sex would be something that affects sex in a big way. But I don't know if I can be in a marriage and the sexual intimacy is good and the other intimacies aren't being met, and the marriage just works. I don't think it would work with sexual intimacy and nothing else, but I do think it would work without sexual intimacy and with everything else. Um,
Oh, so how? Because
Not,
so the
go
question,
ahead.
I guess the question for I guess women would be, can sexual intimacy without the emotional, physical, all the things that are a part of sex? Are we saying women who are married are experiencing sexual pleasure, but none of the other things? The likelihood of that is being low if you're experiencing sexual pleasure. At
well,
least that's what I would think. All right.
it feels like a fallacy, because you don't build emotional intimacy and mental intimacy. I don't think you build that during sex. I think you, like I said, I feel like you can feel these intimacies when you're having sex, but that comes from the rest of the day. That comes from maybe a long day at work and your wife is there to make you feel better. That comes from maybe you're feeling a type of way, your depression medication is affecting you and you have a partner to console you, or just cuddling and being around a partner, watching a movie, holding hands or something. I feel like these types of intimacies are built outside of sex. You can experience them in sex, but it's not just you lay down with a person and the it's just so good that you just connect with them on a mental and emotional level. Like, I don't think.
Right, Patty. So I don't think we're not really. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just think those things, when they all culminate into one person or in that moment, they tend to lead to sex. So it's almost like it's a natural progression. So if I'm emotionally connected with somebody and we're physically intimate, like we have to do nothing sexual. She can lay on my lap, I can lay on her. Those moments build a sexual uh um a sexually tense moment because it's like, well, I feel disconnected now, feeling passion and fire within my being, right? Both the man and the woman, and that leads to sex. I mean, unless you're just saying, well, in this generation, I'm sure of it, women are just men and women are just having sex without those connections, but we see the results of that.
I also think this is controversial, but I do think you can be intimate like that and it not lead to sex or build sexual excitement. I think it can. I think oftentimes it does, but like,
Okay, well, I got you. That's controversial take. I like it, buddy.
like laying down on the couch and watching a movie and your partner is laying on your lap. I don't think this is going to be like, oh, babe, let's go screw around and do something. I think you can also just be here and it can be a warm moment and this is the extent of what's happening and it not be an exciting thing for you. Maybe it has to do with lust or, oh, hey, wake up, makeup straight.
Hey,
I didn't
hey,
even know
Teddy.
you were over here on this side of YouTube.
I
Like,
do.
that's
I
the
sneak
thing.
over. Sneak over.
But I'll let you respond to anything, or if you came to talk about the homies giving each other head, that's also you can.
I was- I totally voted just to troll, but
Yeah.
my commentary is I do agree with you, Petty, because I've been married for a while, over 17 years, and thank you. The reality is that there's things that happen as you grow together as a couple, and as you take on different jobs, as you start to add children, if that's your choice, um, that that intimacy is not always sex. When you have a partner who could be dealing with illnesses and stress, just various things that happen throughout life, the best part of having that connection is not feeling like you have to. It does not have to lead to sex. You have that emotional comfort and safety, and that is the best, better than sex, because it is, you can't just find that out, through a one night stand. Obviously, that's built upon it's priceless, truly. It's priceless.
Well, of course, I agree with that. Shiki is the contrarian here, so Afri, you were going to say something.
After you came off mute, I'll go ahead.
Is it Afri or Afri?
It doesn't matter. It's a made up name.
Wait. That does matter. That's your name. What's your name?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm going in and out because I'm driving. I'll get back to that question in like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Cheeky.
All right. So again, I understand what you all are saying, but what she said that was interesting is it doesn't have to. But I think in most cases, especially when, of course, your testosterone is high as a man, right? I'm not dealing with, when you're 50 or 60, because of course things change, your body change, her body changes. So those things are naturally either going downward for the most part in most cases. But in those moments where you have physical, emotional, and even spiritual intimacy, if you combine all of that with two human beings, they're going to feel a connection, and that connection tends to lead to sex. I'm not saying that it can't. I'm not. So let's say if a man didn't have a penis, right? If he didn't have any sexual organs, I'm not going to say he can't experience and have and enjoy himself with a woman. It's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is what all of those things combined, they make the moments that we tend to want from women and women want from men. Right? Am I off?
It feels off to me. Go ahead, wake up.
No, sorry, Petty. I don't want to interrupt your thought. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think it feels off to me because there are other contexts where you absolutely can have all these things, and it's not like some lead up to sex. It's just something that like I have guy and gal friends, and it's like I have emotional intimacy with them, I have mental intimacy with them, because a lot of the values that I have in a partner I have in my friends too, just in a lesser extent. I have you were saying, I think spiritual intimacy, I have that with my pastor, my priest. I have that with my mother and father, because we're a really spiritual family. Like, it's not that I have these types of intimacy with people, or even more than one intimacy with a person, or even that we connect on like an emotional or mental level, that it just now pushes us into sex. I think, but again, maybe it's the way that I view sexual intimacy is very isolated. So it's not.
So that's what it seems like that too, right?
Well,
It
no,
seems
it's like for me, it seems like that for people generally. Like, I don't think most women are like talking to their girlfriends and hugging them and having physical intimacy, having emotional intimacy, being able to talk to them and rely on them mentally and have all this intimacy, and then just be like, man, maybe I should sleep with my girlfriends, because it's just leading up to like, I don't think
well, that's typically because they're heterosexual, I would assume. I don't know in
yeah, but
today's
I think you can
generation.
have friends of the opposite sex.
Right, but friends of the opposite sex, if those things are there and the attraction is there, that tend they
Hey, if
that tends
what
that
attraction
tends
is there?
what
Like romantic or sexual
physical,
attraction?
and yeah, if all of those things are there and they're friends. Matter of fact, most people say I married my best friend, or I did this, I did it with my best friend. That's very common. Or
Do you
the
think that's
person that
like a phrase that I think that's a phrase people use? I think people go on dates and the person they're dating becomes their best friend. I don't think it's literally like, oh, we've been best friends for 10 years and just got married today. I think it's
wait a
more
minute. Oh,
Petty,
you can't put
petty.
you can't put a limit on best friendship. Come on now, dog.
Ooh,
I
petty,
do think that
petty.
sometimes people
I
say it for
married
that
my
reason.
best friend.
Oh,
Ah!
Right.
Take that, Betty.
well, never mind. Let me throw my point away. But I
I
won't.
do
I
think
think
that both
No,
people
don't throw it
use the
away.
phrase a lot, though.
hmm?
I do think both people use the phrase a lot. People who were actually friends with the person beforehand, and then people who actually met them like through because they were dating, and then they became a best friend like in the dating process. I think both people just tend to use the phrase all the time.
Can
That's
y'all
what
hear me
I
okay?
think it's mostly a phrase, even though I do
Yes,
think
ma'am.
what you
We can
said
hear you.
can
Wake up,
happen.
man.
Okay.
Wake up, slave.
Okay, sorry, I had to use my headset. My story is unusual, and I know it's unusual. I did marry my best friend, and we did not go on one date, and we knew each other for 2.5 years prior. Um, and believe me, when I get into I know it's unusual. It is. But that is something that we should strive for. At least having them feel like a best friend. I think that is important. You want that kind of connection. You do. You
All
should have
right.
those same kinds of morals and values, and when you choose your friends and stuff like that.
Yeah, but in my mind, this is a prerequisite before a relationship. It doesn't necessarily lead to a relationship. In Cheeky's mind, this is something that is like the natural progression up to something that becomes romantic. Oh, who left? Something that becomes romantic or sexual. I thought Cheeky left. Well,
Wait,
he's
I left. Did I leave?
no,
Damn.
Afri left. Somebody
Oh
asked
shoot.
who that is talking. That is Wake Up, Makeup, Slay, and y'all better recognize. Y'all better recognize.
Okay, so look, I'm assuming you. So are you saying most people are asexual? Um, and
Me?
they don't have
No,
any
no, no,
sexual.
no, 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 no. No.
Okay, so we're not saying that, right? And I'm not. Again, I don't think that's what you were saying, but I need you to clarify. So if you're not saying most people are asexual, and
No.
if we're saying, and if there's a common saying that I married my best friend, I'm sure within that relationship, however long it was that you determined this person is your best friend, there was sexual desire there, right? I do not think most people are asexual. So I think that because of the relationship that they have, the security and the desire of wanting sex from that individual that you trust slash love or whatever you like to use, um, it's going to be natural for you to be like, I trust this person and I want to have sex with this person. Is that a fair
I
assessment to say?
disagree.
Okay.
I disagree just from my own personal experiences. Like
All right, turn up, Cancer. Let's get it.
So maybe I'm looking at this from a womanly perspective. The women seem to be saying, in agreement with me. I did say earlier, I do think a lot of what you're saying is applicable to men. I just don't feel like it's a healthy view of how a relationship should be structured, or how dating or friendship or anything like that should be structured. I'm not disagreeing with you that it exists. If it didn't exist, we absolutely would not be having the conversation about men and women that we have online. But I don't think it's a healthy approach. No, I don't think all or most people are asexual and feel no sexual attraction or anything like that. I will contend that by saying, even if you are emotionally and all this intimate with someone, I still think it's good to maintain a sort of discipline in these initial stages, since we're talking about the 90-day rule, where you maintain a type of discipline and you're able to engage in a relationship without having sex. I don't think it would be bad for men or women to have that type of sexual discipline. And I do think it can lead to a better relationship for you to demonstrate a quality like that in the first 90 days. That, hey, this relationship isn't about sex, even though, and I said that, maybe you missed that, but I did say that earlier. I do think that even women who use the 90-day rule want to have sex. I don't think it's that they just become asexual and turn it off. But as a means of protection for themselves, and as a means of the man demonstrating certain qualities that I think will be valuable in a relationship, with patience and such being important. I do think I don't think it's an unhealthy rule to have, even though I think all of us were against having like a set hard 90-day whatever day rule. But I don't think it's bad to practice.
I just say be a virgin the whole time. Don't even worry about just don't have sex, and then wait till you get married, I guess.
Look, I'm gonna tell you, because that's not for everybody. That's not for everybody. But but my husband and I waited until we were married. Now I was not a virgin, I was celibate. Um, so it's, while it may not be for everybody, there is value to it, because I unfortunately came from really difficult relationships. I came from traumatic events. And so I did need to shut down that part because of the manipulation that happened in prior relationships, that I was too really truly immature to fully understand, and all of that. So what that did for me personally was say, okay, well, I need to develop myself more as a person, and relationship qualities. What is it that I'm looking for? Because whatever I'm looking for, I need to be it. And I now know what I don't want. So what do I want? And when you take that physical lusty, not saying that that doesn't go away, it doesn't mean that you're not physically attracted to that person, but when you take away the pressure of sex, you have to focus on other things, and it's of those other things that build a very, very strong relationship, those things that are going to get you through the rocky times. Because when it's easy and it's great, but when it's difficult, it's really difficult. So you learn to prioritize what's important, because again, like I said, this is life. You don't know what's going to happen. So if you are, and this goes for men and women, if you feel like you can't be in a relationship without sex because the rate of cancer is on the rise, like people who are chemo, you think they're going around having sex all the time? No, like that kind of stuff can happen to us. You never know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's important to have that maturity, I guess.
I say this all the time. It's like one of the reasons why I decided not to have sex prior to marriage is because, not because like of any religious reasons, but because I'm scared. I was scared that I was gonna catch something, and people nowadays are like really promiscuous, and which is fine, which is cool, right? Like
No,
seriously, I'm not.
If that's their
No,
choice, if
it
that's
is
their
not
choice,
cool. It is not fine.
it's
I mean it is what it is, but it's like
right.
I
Personal
personally,
decisions.
yeah, like I can't. For me, that's
I'm
like a
taking a
nah.
stand.
And like I'm always, I used to when I was dating, I would tell the person like, listen, it's not for you. Like, you can just do your thing. You don't have to, hide anything from me. Like, you don't have to go and like cheat with some woman and like come back to me because I'm not gonna accept you back. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, you can just say, hey, this is not for me, and just leave. But which brings up another point. Like, I don't understand like why in a relationship you just can't tell your partner like, hey,
Agreed.
like
No,
actually,
I tell my husband. I tell my okay. First of all, I know him. He ain't going nowhere because he won't. But
That's
we've had those conversations. I'm like, look, I'd rather you just tell me. Just tell me if you feel like you need to step outside the marriage. I'd rather you just be honest and upfront, so I don't have to like blow up your
exactly,
car or nothing like that. I'm not
exactly,
trying to go to jail. I got a job. I've got
exactly. Like, why do you
right.
want me to resent you and like burn
Yeah.
the bed like
No, I don't want to do
Angela
that.
Bassett did in that one movie? Like,
Exactly.
why do you want that to happen? You can just tell
Yeah.
me, and then like it'll be a whole different, you know what I mean? A whole different situation.
Right. Exactly.
so. I think excluding extreme circumstances, right? I think that most people, um, their their relationship outside of a sexual relationship is what makes when you have sex, it makes it that much more better, right? I think when you feel as if, and correct me if I'm wrong for the married woman on the panel,
Hmm.
I think that your relationship that was built, the emotional intimacy, the emotional and spiritual safety, the physical intimacy, all of those things, right? And it it enhanced the sexual experience because it represented all of it. Am I off on that?
Um. No, no, because I've found
Wait, no, I'm off
what
or
true.
no?
No, 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 no. You're not off because I found
Okay.
my true love, but that was after making those mistakes up front. You know what I'm saying? Like there was nuance to
So
that.
let me ask you this then. Those other relationships or those other sexual relationships that you had, do you think that the emotional intimacy, the physical and spiritual security that you got from your husband, were they on the same level as him or below?
Oh hell no, no, no. I got hurt the first. Oh well, gosh, how much
Look,
do I tell
wait,
on the
please.
internet? Look,
Yeah,
look. I got
don't
the
do it. Don't do
filter.
it. All right, so
Right, right,
don't do
right.
that. Please.
But
Please don't
wait.
do it.
I want to filter it. So let me. I'll just say the first relationship that I thought I was in was I was young and he broke my heart. And so after that I just promised myself I wouldn't be so open or vulnerable. And so I treated guys like they treat women, girls at that time, and they wouldn't last more than 3 months. It didn't matter what it was. It was so I wouldn't even let myself emotionally connect. Again, I was young, I was immature, but that's what happened. And so we have to consider those histories, um, whether they get them in high school or not, or young adulthood or not. As even those who don't date, who are lacking the social dating because they focused on academics or they just didn't have the opportunity to date or all of that plays into it. So
Okay. So again, I just think, right, I think sex is important in a relationship. Not saying it's the most important, but they're all intertwined. Your sexual relationship with your husband is based on those things that Petty was naming, because if they were absent as before, sex would not be good for you. Am I maybe correct in that assessment?
I guess I compartmentalize
How
that
can you
part.
compartmentalize when you just said
I can, because I just told you I said I was hesitant to say yes because of trauma that I experienced, and I'm not going to talk about. I'm just,
right?
right. So
Okay.
I can compartmentalize it. I
But it
absolutely can.
so if that trauma wasn't there and you didn't have to do it out of a defense mechanism,
I
you would
can't
probably.
say. I can't say because
Oh,
no, because it's there. I
So
can't say. I
right. I
can't
know.
give
I'm
you.
asking a question that can't be
Yeah,
answered, so that's not fair.
yeah, exactly,
so first,
exactly.
It's not fair. It's
I
not a fair
honestly
question. I
can't
understand.
give you. Yeah, because I don't know what that would be like in my experience. And then on top of that, unfortunately, I'd learned bad habits from, you know, um, my
These men,
parents.
these
Yeah,
men.
well, yeah, watching my mom go through relationships, right? So, and just trying to interpret it as best I can. Um, I do want to answer a question. Production inquiry said, "Did I ever go on a date?" Yes, we dated. We dated a lot every Friday. Since we've been married, we go out on a date every week. Um, and then LB, give me your phone. Some people with terminal illnesses are going around effing everybody. Girl, stop it.
I'm done. Cheeky banter. I feel I have like two questions for you.
Yes,
So I
ma'am.
guess okay. So real quick, like, what is like in a marriage? What do you?
Hmm.
What is the longest you can go without sex? Like in a marriage, what do you think is the longest
Oh,
you could go?
so I have been without sex my entire life. So I think I'd be all
Okay.
right.
Yeah,
What's that?
I said yeah.
So again, I think
So
for
is that a
me,
fair question though? Since you've been without sex your entire life,
uh-huh.
if you found that person, right, and you had that intimate relationship and then something happens, how would you know that you would be able to go without sex? Because there's different that's a different emotional state to be in, because you're also wondering how somebody else is feeling. That's different.
Right. And again, that would be a extreme circumstance. Like I don't think that's most people's cases. Like if we look
Hmm.
at the numbers of people who are disabled or can't function or have no, I don't think those numbers are high enough for me to actually worry about that.
Hmm.
So with that being the case, if it were to happen, my relationship would be based on those things that you guys were saying, which is why I can't say sex is the most important. I just see them as something that is all that
That
culminates.
intertwines and that.
Right.
Hmm.
It's more of an
Hmm.
intertwining than it is a one's higher than the. So it's almost like a balancing scale. You can have 15 rocks, but as long as you have enough weight on the feathers, you'll be all right.
So what do you say to men who say, "Well, I can't go without sex for a week. Or I can't go without sex for like 3 days or something like that." Do
They
you
just
think
don't
that
want
that
to.
is like a normal thing, or for men, or what? What say you?
They just don't typically most men don't want to. And then we don't teach or have a culture of teaching men to be responsible with their own sexual activity or body themselves. Like we can't you can't hear in the manosphere, you'll hear it's a natural prerogative to just want to sleep around with everybody and spread your seed, which I disagree with wholeheartedly. Right. It may be natural, but it doesn't mean you have to do it. Right. Especially if you consider the implications of sex on most women and you don't care about them. I think that really does affect women in ways that are negative. Like for makeup slay, I think she may have been messing or she may have dealt with a man like that and it caused it trauma. I don't think you should do that to an individual uh if you can help that for sure.
because I asked that question because there was something on Instagram, on social media a while ago stating, no, one of those social media facts. It pretty much said that in order for a man to prevent prostate cancer, he has to have sex at least 27 days out of the month. And I said to myself, so y'all really gonna sit here and try to spread these lies and try to pass it off as medical information?
Yeah, I need a citation.
They'll do whatever they need to get it off.
I was like, I was really.
Wait, pause. Cantor on. Welcome to the membership. We have, well, this isn't our first YouTube member. Our first YouTube member is actually going to be, it was Concerned, London Link, and let me go and look. My bad. I just actually have to interrupt. We have a member. This is a big moment for me. It was Concerned, London Link, and Melinda. They were my first members, but this is my first member on stream. I'm taking a snapshot. Just needed to pause literally everything. Bam. There we go. Okay,
hey,
I took a screenshot.
Congratulations.
Actually, I think I'm going to, at the end of the live stream, they have an option for you to gift people a membership. So I was going to gift 5 people a membership, and it was just, I don't know if it's the first 5 people who sign up or if it's just at random. I do not know, but I was hoping to at least give the people who support me something back in a limited way that I can. So thank you, Cantor on. Welcome to the membership. We don't have a membership dance. I can dab for you. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
no. Never doing that
Hey,
again.
can we take a second?
Turn up.
Can we get some claps, something from the panel, please? Anything? Thank you. Oh, excuse me. Snaps. All snaps. No claps, please.
Snaps.
Culture.
Yes.
See, fam, I'm supporting you, dog. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for you.
Excuse me. Cheeky actually gave us the Manosphere donation very early into the live stream. So technically, he is the first person to support me with a super chat.
Also about the snaps, but that's cool too.
LB is right. Dick discipline is forgotten. Also, Gorgeous, you've been here for a while, so if you want to hop in, you can. It's just open and anyone can speak on anything, including whether or not you think it's gay, for the homies to give each other head.
Thank you. I just had some comments on things that you brought up prior. I actually agree with you. I'm not saying it's not possible, because we have the wonderful Wake Up Makeup Slay and giving us her example of falling in love with her friend and marrying her best friend. But I do feel like normally if men or women are what you call traditional friends, it's because of either one of the parties aren't attracted to the other party, or one of the other parties are not available. So normally when people are saying I fell in love with my best friend, or I married my best friend, that was someone that became your best friend as you dated them and you realize you have so much in common, as opposed to we've been friends for 5, 10, 15 years and now we suddenly realize we want to be romantic towards one another. And I'm not saying that's not possible, but just like I was looking at Partisan Meg Thee Stallion's boyfriend's IG yesterday, he's like, this is my best friend. They've only been together for 2 years. So it's like y'all have been best friends since you've been in a relationship, because you're like, okay, I really rock with this person. And so you're doing all of the wonderful relationship things together. It's not impossible, but normally people, I don't see an attractive person and be like, he would be a great friend. Like, no, I would like to be in a romantic relationship with you, or whatever, intimate with you, whatever. So I just wanted to agree with Petty on that for the most part, what I see. Because again, if we're friends and you're literally in the friend zone, that means somebody's not attracted or somebody's unavailable. But
the friend zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say earlier.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say earlier when he had made that comment, I was like, well, I have some male friends that like we share, like, I guess you could say intimacy, but like not that kind. It's not like I want to have sex with them at all, or
But that
have ever thought about it. But like we're really close as friends, not necessarily. And I have no desire to take it further than that at all.
You
And
don't,
my
but he
late
probably
fiance,
does. He
but my
probably
late
does.
fiance, like the whole friendship started the same day we we started dating. So
Mm.
Yeah. Of course, I agree with Gorgeous because she agrees with me. I don't think we disagree with you, Kiki, because yes, hopefully we all agree here that, I mean, it just seems like common sense. Obviously, a best friendship can lead to a relationship, and then the sentiment "I married my best friend" can come about. But I do think generally, yeah, people will be dating someone, and while dating they will become best friends, not necessarily they select somebody from they pick up somebody out the friend zone and wife them up or something like that. No. Let's see. So
It seems like men are more friendly anyway. I have a whole bunch of male friends. Now sometimes I get
I
irritated by that
wonder
when
why.
people like
Wait. Who said
Looking
that?
at her face, you
I
know,
have
I
real
wonder
friends.
why they want to be there.
Wait. I got questions. So, Afri, you said you had male friends, or was it
Yeah,
gorgeous? Who
I
was it?
have male.
Okay,
It was me, Alfred. I have male friends and very few female friends, and it's like
male friends who are in a
I'm a,
relationship.
not all of them. Most of them aren't, and like some of them I had to like, some of them pissed me off, and I had to let them go for other
Mm-hmm.
reasons,
Mm-hmm.
right? But like I kind of wish like women would reach out more and like just be more friendly, because it's hard. I kind of feel a man's pain when they say it's hard. We engage women and we have to like
and free,
say
I have
that.
similar issues sometimes, but it kind of comes and goes. Like sometimes I'll have more female friends, and sometimes I just have more male friends. But I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I just why I don't think we only talk because they
I think it's
when they
cutting
have
out a little
sex.
bit.
Like, I hope not.
Yeah.
Just a tad.
Can you hear me?
The level
So.
of free is cutting out a little bit, so I can't hear what you're saying, or it might be me.
No, I can't. It's cutting out.
Can you try talking, of free?
Hello.
She
Oh,
left.
okay. Maybe it was just bad connection. I was gonna
Real quickly,
say, yeah. Go ahead.
the love of T said, "How can I become a member?" I don't see it on Petty page. I actually don't know. I think I think there's
Petty.
a join button maybe on the live stream. I also did go ahead and gift 5. I don't know if this becomes. Oh, okay. It just gifted random people. It looks like. So it just gifted Gorgeous, Shaw,
Chica, Lavender Lane.
Lavender, and LB. So I guess it's just random and you don't have to do anything. So welcome to the
Thank you,
membership.
Petty. Thank you, Petty.
Oh, that's cute.
The membership is only $1, so I'm not like saving y'all an extreme amount of money in the first place, but it's $1 you don't have to spend.
It's a start that counts, okay?
Granville, I see you, sir.
And
I
just
see
in
you,
time for
sir.
Valentine's Day. Thank you.
I should have
Right?
told y'all that. I should have said it's like $50, but I'm gonna take the hit. Just pretend it's that second thing. But let me see.
Hey.
I think I didn't hear what she was saying. It was for me it was cutting out in and out. The other MJ has become a member. Welcome. Damn. Wake up, make up, slay. Welcome to the membership. Damn. That's just going to be what I do when people become members. Granville Gold, I can't pronounce that last word. It says, "Where's the merch, cheeky?" I don't know what that means.
That's I just put the link out to have other people just try to come over and support.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, so you're a content creator. Oh,
Yes.
somebody left.
It was Slay Bay. Miss Wake Up and Slay.
Well,
She'll be
Wake
back.
Up Makeup Slay became a member and then she left. So
Sick of you, Petty. You already pissing her off.
become a member and refuse refuse to elaborate. Period.
Look at all your members coming in. Look at this.
Well, now, well, I'm actually
2 L's. I think I know. I think I've
welcome
seen
to
her before.
L's. Welcome to the membership dab. Everybody does get a dab upon coming
Hey,
in.
Dad.
This
Can you
is.
guys hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay, my bad.
You were
No,
saying-
I just wanted to say, like, real quick, because I'm at the gym. That's probably why you guys can't hear me. Yeah. Why do you so, like, to everybody here? Why do you think that once you're in a relationship and it's a what's the word, normative relationship, one male, one female, that that's the word. Whenever you get into the relationship and then you start to get to know each other more, it seems like men begin to kind of hold their feelings in, or they kind of have a hard time really getting emotions out, or are really knowing how to express their emotions in a healthy way. Like, for example, I want to give you an example, but I don't want to stay too long.
It's fine. You can summarize.
Yeah, I mean, that's a summary. I feel like that's always like the case. Like, I feel like when a male friend is a friend, he's able to talk to you more. But once you are in a relationship, then that talking and that spiritual connection that you once had with that person is gone. I always thought that was very bizarre. What do you think? And I'll end it with that, and I'm about to go right. And I'll talk to you guys later.
You're directing that to me, Wake Up Slayer Cheeky, or just to the panel?
Say that again, my guy.
Well, she left, but I was just asking who she was addressing, or if she was just addressing the panel. In regards to that, I think there is someone mentioned the friend zone. I think Wake Up mentioned the friend zone or Cantor.
I was trying to flesh it out with Afri, like who those friends were to her, but then she cut out. So
I think it's very much a case of, I think men and women can be friends. I do think currently the culture around male and female friendship, at least from men, is that women, what value do you have outside of sex or a relationship? So I don't think men in society currently value women for companionship or just as human outside of romance and sex. So in the way that Cheeky was speaking earlier, I'm not saying this is you, Cheeky, about how
No, I got you.
You're when you're doing this stuff with women, it just naturally leads to sex and stuff like that. I do think there is actually an inability for men to say that in the way that they talk with their guy friends and have camaraderie with their guy friends, and it's just like, you're a human who I enjoy being around, who we share similar values or whatever else, and it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to have something outside of that. This is meaningful too. I don't think a lot of guys will actually engage in that. I think they may be biding their time to get something from you, and if they don't get that thing, then I think they start getting weird, to put it nicely. When they do get that thing, I think, like a free said, suddenly things can turn sour now that they got what they were looking for. So in regards to her saying she has mostly guy friends, I don't think that's problematic, but I would be concerned depending on how those men are engaging, since this seems to be widespread.
That's what I wanted to know. I'm not saying not
Also,
And
just quickly, Granville gave a shout out to Cheeky. Thank you, Granville, for the $10. I guess Cheeky is bringing in some traffic, but Wake Up, you can go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, I don't think in my lifetime, anytime when I had male friends who were in the friend zone, did they not try to or have some ulterior motive, not negative, like they wanted to date, right? So I the male friends that I've had who were just friends, they just happened to be gay. So
I
To be gay.
I guess
yeah.
I still have a lot of male friends that aren't gay, but I guess
Hmm.
because of the way the friendship happened, it's I do
Oh
understand that a
God.
lot of men probably are not very good at just being friends with a woman that they're not interested in, but I do have male friends that because of the way we became friends in the first place,
Hmm.
like I don't think there was ever any issues there, and I've never had issues with them, and I've been friends with them. Some of them are married now, but like
Hmm.
before they ever got married, I was friends with them.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna let
Oh,
Gorgeous and then Cheeky and then Papa and so go just because we do have one more video to get through. It's short, it's about 2 minutes long, and we still haven't gotten into the men's 90-day rule, and that's what it's about. So I wanted everybody to get a chance to speak before we move into that. But if you were about to say something, Wake Up, you can go.
I just wanted to see that comment you put up real quick. It
Um,
came up and then it left.
The
Yeah.
Levite said, some men mistake your kindness as you trying to flirt with them. I have guy friends, but I had to be more firm with boundaries. They kept trying to skip over them. Yeah, a lot of well, not even just my friends. I think a lot of dudes are, when guys talk about getting compliments and stuff like that, for example, I think it's further and fewer in between. And well, I don't even have to say I think. I've looked at the research. I think most women, the research indicates that women are giving like regular I'm talking to a human signals, not being flirtatious or anything like that, but the men are interpreting it as flirting. I think this is partially due to the fact that men don't like receive compliments or generally like get approached, I think, by women. So with their few interactions, they mistake signals. But I won't get into that today. Wake Up, you had something on that, or you just wanted to read the comment?
I just wanted to read the comment because I agree.
Yeah, like the lady at the reception desk was like, "Have a nice day." What do you mean by that? Do
Right.
you want to get dinner maybe? Anyway, um, if Gorgeous wanted to go, she could. She hasn't said anything in a while. Or Cantor, Cheeky, and Papa Incel. Then we can get into the video. Going once. Anybody going twice?
Okay.
Oh
So
well, I didn't click anybody. He left.
I know. I know. No. So he's actually one of my male supporters. I was hoping to get my male and female supporters over here, but everybody live right now.
Look at y'all with a community.
Well, see, so Prince.petti, like I said, they called me Manosphere adjacent. I don't call myself red pill, none of that stuff. I just say what I think, and if it aligns, it aligns, and if it don't, it don't. But yeah, that's I don't know why they want to put categories on people. I don't know, man. I think I'll skip. I'll just wait to 2 minutes.
Okay, I think I didn't realize it, but a lot of my audience have channels and do their own stuff. Tiffany has a channel. We were going to look at Jamil's channel earlier today. I might still do that at the end now that there are men here who I think would benefit from his channel as well, because I just took a quick look through it. I don't promote people's channels without first going to look at what's going on. So we're gonna have to take a dive into see what's going on over there and why people are calling you Manosphere. But
Who, me?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Oh, Petty. No.
Oh,
You just
not
gotta
right
join.
now. I'm
No,
just
I'm saying you gotta come join the panel too.
I'm
Mind you, this
there's a panel tonight. Someone's doing a panel tonight. Should I say this? So it's a bigger YouTuber, and I got an invitation, but they are not Manosphere or Red Pill adjacent. They are just straight up Manosphere. I thought about making an appearance there to cause some chaos, but
who if you know who it is.
No, I don't usually name drop. Well, I try not to. I think somebody. Well, it's fine.
What's going on?
What's
hello.
up, Granville?
Today
What
we're
up,
talking.
Cheeky? You trying to come to Cheeky channel?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'm going to take a look at what you talk about over there and what happens, what the general theme of the channel is. Cheeky said he's being mistaken he's being called Red Pill adjacent. He says that's not him. So, I mean, I can at the very least go in. Why did you share this post like this on? But not today, but at some point I'm hoping to go through and see.
Well, hi everyone. Good evening.
Hey Jamil, we're going through your channel as well. I'm actually going to I wanted to look at that at the end because I saw some stuff that you put up that I thought was important. But yeah, if you wanted to comment on anything, passe, I don't know how to pronounce that, but anything that we talk about.
What was the question? Do you have anything? I mean, I've only been watching for about 5-10 minutes. That's about it.
Whew,
and I'm kind of on work right now. What was the topic?
Well, then we're gonna have to
Can
watch
I
that.
update him on the first question?
Sure. It won't be me.
No, no way.
Wake up,
Cheeky, stop.
What's up?
Wake up. I have to make dinner. She's going to make dinner. She has been in a a marriage for 17 years, and it's healthy and wealthy, and they are cooking dinner, and I just know it's going to be soul food. That's what I feel in my heart. So thank you for coming up. But yeah, catch him up, Cantor. Get him up to speed because I can't summarize that good.
So, do you want me to call you Passe, or I think you said your other name was Poppy, or?
Nah, you can call me this.
Okay. Well, so the first question is, if the homies give each other head, are they gay?
Yeah.
Passe, I ain't even entertain that. But
wait. When she say homies, what we were referring to is like two platonic male friends, not like a relationship, like two men in a relationship.
Like platonically, of course.
Yeah. Like platonic
what do you mean?
head.
You said give head. What do you mean?
Huh? Well, first of all, do you think sucking dick is gay?
Wait, you're being serious right now?
Yeah. Just like sucking dick, not like having sex or anything. That's not anything like that. Just sucking, giving head. Let's just call it giving head, so you two don't strike me down.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's fine. We can. Can I ask this?
Can I ask this? So let's take like.
No, I don't.
No, I'm not beating around this bush. Yes, it is. Yes, bro. You think about the man and the man?
I told you, bro.
It's not in a gay way. They're not doing it.
Not in a gay way, bro.
It's not in a homosex type of.
Excuse me.
It's not like in a homosex type of way.
Come again? Pun intended.
Huh?
No, bro. No. You can't do that.
So, let me ask you something. Let me not assume your gender. Are you a man?
Yeah.
Don't involve me in your BS, Petty. I know you petty, so I just don't use somebody else. I know you petty. Go ahead.
So
do you have? Are you and Cheeky, for example? Are y'all friends?
No. That's I told you. Don't involve me. I see Petty.
No.
Here's the thing, Petty.
Involve another man in this situation.
No. See, Passe blunt, right. What we not gonna do? We're not gonna let Petty get the upper hand. I understand why your name Petty.
I was just gonna ask, do you have any guy friends? It don't have to be cheeky. Do you have?
I'm a
any guy friends?
heterosexual male.
Yeah. I was just
Okay.
asking, do you have any guy friends at all? Not like, are you in a sexual relationship with men or nothing?
I don't like this question and where you're going. I see the rabbit hole where you're going. But proceed to your next question.
The question is literally just like, I have guy friends. I'm not saying I have sex with men. I'm not saying I'm homosexual. I just have guy friends. That's all I'm asking you. Do you have guy friends? I'll assume yes. Most guys have guy friends, which is
no, we don't. They all female friends.
What do you mean by guy friends?
Like,
give me the context.
Friends who
you
are
don't
male?
have nobody you like hang out with, shoot dice,
A friend.
Shoot dice. This nigga crazy.
Talk about
That
business.
took a horrible turn right there, bud. Shoot dice with the homies.
Well, we're not. Never mind. Let me not make that joke. I was finna make a Migos joke, but I think it's too soon. Just a person who.
Why? Because this topic was about to take off.
My topic was no. I said
it was the Migos
I said
joke.
Shooting dice, and I was going to make a Migos thing, but I was like, no, it's probably.
Yes, I have male friends. Yes, I have male friends.
So you've never been in a situation, for example, where
this is going crazy.
No,
going crazy already.
You'll have stop because Cheeky. Okay, and Cheeky was just over here acting the fool and laughing,
instigating.
No, because
no. Have y'all no way? Don't do that to me, Petty. Every time Petty doing something petty, his camera go off all of a sudden, and I know his camera works fine.
Well,
look at him.
What it has to do with is ultimately he thinks sucking dick gay. So I don't even feel like we can get anywhere with the conversation in the first place. I don't personally think. I don't. So how is it gay? What
You're a man? Are you a man?
Yeah, I identify as non-binary, but yeah, you can man.
Do you hit heads?
Give head to
Do you hit heads?
Do I give head?
Do you hit heads?
Give
heads, suck dick, whatever. Do you do that?
Oh, I mean, giving head doesn't just mean sucking dick. It could be eating coochie. So yes, of course I do.
No. We're not gonna. No, I specifically said giving head.
Oh, receive it?
No, give it. Receive it. Do you receive it from a man? Do you give it to a man?
I never have, but I don't think that's gay.
Okay, then that's your belief. It's not mine.
And I'm trying to understand your belief because to me it's like perfectly not gay. And I understand why I believe what I believe, but I don't know why you believe what you believe. So you don't have to.
You should have just said I decline.
You know what?
Yeah, you can decline. You don't have.
You know what? You know what? No low contendere.
So
that means no contest. I'm done with this conversation.
Okay, that's fine. I don't want to have any conversation about what you find inappropriate, and I do apologize if you're uncomfortable.
Cheeky, he's very good. He's very good. Cheeky, he's gonna trip up a lot of people.
Well, he's the person that be on Themis and Thoth. That's the show on y'all.
Y'all are Themis friends.
No, we're not. Themis?
Absolutely not.
Why y'all don't want to use the word?
Who is Themis? Who's Themis?
No. It's Themis doesn't. Matter of fact, my first super chat, Petty, actually made y'all mad. Not even try to. Right? If you don't remember, I had said females, and then I said men.
Oh yeah, I do remember you. I do remember.
And I was like, oh dang, I didn't mean to do that. But it was too late by that point.
Attacked, but I do find it a red flag.
No. Y'all was going to go ape on me, and I was like, Jesus, I ain't even mean nothing by it. I swear to God.
Does experimenting make you gay? Of course not.
Petty, you can't just be answering that quick. You got to think about it, bro.
And that's the thing. Did you give some notes on that just that quick? Like, does experimenting make you gay? And you said, of course not.
Well, why? To me, it's like, is water wet? No. Like, it feels like, is the sun yellow? Yes. There are some questions that it's just an easy answer.
Is the sky blue?
The sky is the absence of all colors but blue. Technically, anything. Well, yeah, that's a long, complicated answer. Yes.
Bro, let's get to the 90-day men thing, please.
Yeah. All right. What was the next question?
The next question in the line that I was asking about homies, or
I don't want to ask in the line of no questions about that.
Well,
is there another question to the topic?
Since you're late, I won't go through the 90-day rule for women anymore. Now we're going to look at the 90-day rule that men have set up their own. And this is a video from Burb and Bougie. She's a Black woman content creator over on YouTube. So she makes content for Black women, she says, by Black women. So if y'all want to go support her, y'all can. She has her YouTube channel. Just wanted to give her credit before we watch a little bit of her video. But here are the men's 90-day rules.
2 questions. Are the
Let me turn that up.
XYs okay? And do they even like women? It seems to me that these men want to keep other men single. I don't know why, but they genuinely do not seem like they like women. If a man came up to me, if I were single, asked for my number, we talk on the phone, and he said, let's go on a date, and you pay your way, I pay mine, I would decline. Not that I don't have money. I can take myself out. If I were single, I would have a job working, but I would rather hang out with my friends.
Wait, so do y'all want to look at the video? It's 2.5 more minutes, or do y'all just want to read out the men's rules and talk about them?
What time is your show you trying to get to? We don't want to take up your time.
I just wanted to look at the rules. Basically, in her video, she says she doesn't necessarily disagree with some of the rules. Some of them seem wild. She was with them up until this one, and then pretty much talking about why. So, I mean, I'll let it play.
Friends or hang out by myself before hanging out with a random man paying my way. I'm just not that interested in XYs at this particular point. But the way that they are acting shows that they don't really value companionship with women anyway. Now, some of his items I agree with. Okay, no sex, cool. Let's not. But no picking her up from her place. That's great. Women, we should be following this anyway. These XY shouldn't know where we live. No helping her with her kids. Great. You shouldn't be introducing these people to your kids that soon. No meeting her friends and family. Same. I agree. No helping with bills. I also agree. Do not entangle yourself financially with these people, especially within 90 days. That doesn't make sense. But
I actually disagree with a lot of what she said, by the way, but I just wanted it to.
Some of these things do not make sense. You don't want to text her. Okay, cool. How are you communicating? How are you getting to know somebody? Are you just talking periodically? I am not paying for a date with somebody that I barely know. I'm just not. But that's my.
It means
that's my
pick
thing.
up the phone and call.
No displays of emotion. So, are you not even going to act interested? Are you not going to compliment this woman? The thing that these men are not understanding is women have fun with their friends, and we'll bring food, we'll go places, pay our way. If we get together, someone will bring the wine, someone will bring dessert, and we kick it. We come together, we hug, we laugh. Someone walks in, we compliment each other. We have a camaraderie. But these people don't want to show any kind of camaraderie. They don't want to show any kind of vulnerability and get to know somebody and support somebody else. It is very weird. They want to be single. They want to make sure that women don't like them. Like, what is to like about somebody that's willing to follow this list? Anyways, ladies, y'all weigh in. How do you feel about this list? Would you go out on a date and pay and, or like a second date? Someone that wouldn't even give you any emotions and act like they're attracted to you. Would they get a second date if you decided to go Dutch?
I can answer that question. I don't think they're gonna. But let me just read out all of the rules. So the 90-day rules for men. There are 9. The first one: no paying for dates. The second one: no daily texting. The third one: no kissing, hugging, or sex. The fourth one: no picking her up from her place. The fifth one: no helping her with her kids if she has any. The sixth one: no displays of emotion. The seventh one: no displays of public affection. The eighth one: no meeting her friends or family. And the ninth one: no helping her with any bills.
And the 10th one: no relationship.
This is for the first 90 days. Now, my question
was on the board. It's only 9, right? Am I tripping?
No, it's only 9 on there. But I mean, basically, he's saying he doesn't want a relationship.
Oh, you implying that? Don't do that. That's not the rules.
So, yeah, my question is going to be: this doesn't. Y'all are not dating. What are you talking about? Y'all are not dating. Y'all ain't texting. Y'all not kissing, hugging, doing anything. Y'all not displaying emotions towards each other. This doesn't even seem like a friendship.
This is a stranger's thing.
there are some things like not helping a woman with her bills. I don't think that's controversial. It would be weird for me to pay somebody's rent on, day 30 of knowing them. I think you're a little over invested at that point. Probably some women disagree because my friends told me it's a lot of men out here paying bills, and they are out here. So
They are.
But it's
Can I ask a question?
yeah.
Is that a real list going around, or did she make that to do that video?
This was a TikTok that she shared. Let me see if I can find the original TikTok from the men's. It was also a panel based on the TikTok, like the one we're doing now, where the men's came and talked. She didn't link it in her thing, but no, I do remember seeing it on TikTok, and I was like, this is kind of interesting, and to be polite. And then now seeing her do this video on it recently, I think this was a day or two ago. So let's go through it one by one. I just thought we could, in the same way we talked about the 90-day rule for women, which was only related to sex specifically, we could talk about this one, which has a lot more in it.
That's because we do more.
It's
because we do more.
So anyway,
I knew I tried to trigger him.
when it comes to rule number 1, no paying for dates, I don't think this is controversial. Well, actually, I do think this is controversial because unless you're going out to places that are free, you're going to be paying. I think maybe what was meant was only pay for your half. There are men out there going Dutch and 50-50, and there are women who are out there who want that. Cool. I think those two people should find each other and they will have a good time together. I don't think that's controversial. Does anyone disagree?
No, I think that's fair. Go if she wants to have her 90 days. I understand that. And if a man wants to have his 90 days, right, where he doesn't pay for the entire meal, then sure, go Dutch.
I think the place where you're going to find contention is number 1. Most people think that the person who asks you out on the date should pay. Generally, it's the man who asks out the woman. And number 2, what you said regarding that was going to be a big issue of mine for this whole list. What you said regarding women want their 90-day rule, we'll have our 90-day rule too. I don't think it's bad for you to have.
Oh, don't say our.
Well, for men to have 90-day rules too.
There we go.
I don't think it's bad for people to set up standards and boundaries in how they want to engage in dating, in this manifested as a 90-day rule. I think it's bad to do it vitriolically. So it feels malicious. You said it, and you said it's not you, it's the men. But it's almost like a lashing out or a get back or something like that, as opposed to a legitimate standard that you would have for
Wait a minute. What? That's not. I don't think that's a fair assessment.
Okay, ladies, you want your 90-day rule? We're gonna make it like, come on. You can.
No. Hold on. I know. No. See. No. You use that tone of voice. You switch up. No, it's more like you know what? I appreciate her standards. I think I should have mine. She's inspiring. How about that, buddy?
It doesn't feel like you would do this as a response.
You don't know.
Nah. Even the buddy you threw at the end of the sentence I'm
just saying. At the end of the day,
some hidden aggression, some microaggression.
No. See, the gorgeous. There is no hidden aggression towards Petty at all. All I'm saying is, if he's going to say it feels vitriolic, I think that's unfair because he's making an inference that's not there. We could say, because we don't have any real measurement or any fact on this, we could say, hey, she's got her 90 days. I really appreciate her. She's inspiring me to have my 90 days. Right? It could be that tone instead of it being vitriolic.
I want you to I'm not
come on, gorgeous. Work with me here, babe.
I'm not going to deny that possibility.
If the guy wants that to be his 90-day whatever, just I wouldn't stick around, but have fun, sir.
So I'm not going to deny the possibility that it's not vitriolic, and it's that it's actually a man was so inspired by a woman having standards that he decided to create standards. I want to ask you, do you think that is what this is generally? It's just men who are like, wow, these women are inspiring and we should make our own standards. Or do you think it's actually like a get back?
I don't know. Just like when I asked a general question and I couldn't get an answer because you just don't know. I don't know, Petty. So what we'll do?
Okay. Well, again, the first one was no paying for dates. Cantor, you were going to say something on that.
Oh, I said he can have whatever his I'm not paying for date standards are. I don't know men who do that, but you have fun, sir. I wouldn't go out with them, but whatever.
That's sexist.
Do you
It
think?
is, and I don't care.
I don't think that's
I like it. I like it, Cantor.
Well, I think it would depend on, do you think this is something that should be applicable to all men and just how men date, or do you think this is something that you require in your own individual relationship?
In my relationship, I don't think I've ever I don't know men who do that, but if that's what he wants for his, have fun, sir. I don't care.
So this is your individual standard.
My individual standard, he would be paying for the first date at least.
Okay, gorgeous.
Agree. Like we're not even gonna get out the starting gates. Like it's gonna be failure to launch. Like we're not even gonna get out of we're going nowhere if the man is taking a stance on that he's not paying and he's not. And then look how long and intensive the list is. Like the woman's one is just okay, no sex for 90 days. The man's is no this, no that, no this, no family, no this, not showing no compliments, affection. I mean, it's just like so many things. And it's definitely giving a two can play that game type of vibe. It's not a, oh wow, I'm so inspired. Look at how women are whatever taking a stand for themselves. I'm inspired to. No, it's definitely I'm taking jabs back at you.
So
y'all can do it. I can do y'all double better.
I think
So
y'all are projecting and you guys are toxic. But
I
it's
don't
okay
think-
because
wait,
healthy
wait, wait.
male,
I don't think
healthy
they're
male standards is okay.
I don't think I don't think they're projecting in this certain instance. This list, at least in the way that I saw it on TikTok, for me was definitely a get back. You said you won't make a judgment about whether it is or not. For me, it definitely was a get back. However,
Well,
I will provide a healthy lens. London Link says these thirsty A dudes not waiting 90 days. They can't even go one date without GTD, without ghosting her or crying online. I don't know what GTD is.
Yeah, I don't know that.
I think I'm just not in the bedroom enough. I'm pretty sure that is an innuendo, but it's fine. Thank you, London. I will provide a healthy lens. In the same way that we spoke about women who may go on dates with men, and remember the scenario I gave you where, oh, the date went great, everything was amazing, we went back to his place, did what we did. The next day, he didn't text me, he ghosted me. What happened? And now I believe from that, a woman may develop a 90-day standard and say, maybe I shouldn't engage with sex with a man for the first 90 days, even if I want to, because someone clicking all my boxes and meeting my standard, I might think is okay to have sex with, and then I get a repeat of something like that happening. I think in a case of setting up a rule like that, that's not unhealthy in my mind. So in the same context, I think a man can say, maybe I feel reduced to a wallet, because whenever I go out on a date, I pay for the date. The woman never texts back. I do it again and again and again, and I get the same result. So maybe I want to protect myself from feeling like someone is using me from my wallet. And on the first date, I'd like to go Dutch. That way, the women who are, I would assume the women who are trying to come out and get a free meal or whatever, however rare you think that is, will not be interested in going out with a date on me. On a date with me. So I will have effectively weeded them out. And then, of course, the women who do go out now, I don't feel like I'm being used for whatever. So I don't think it has to be vitriolic, and I don't think it has to be an unhealthy standard. I think specifically the way it was used in this video was definitely vitriolic in a get back. Oh, you don't want to have sex? Well, I'm not paying for the, like, that's how I feel.
Pull it up one more time. Let me see the guy's face. Let me see. Let me do some body language and reading.
From the man?
Yeah, from the guy. Look at this.
I don't think she played the video on this.
No, you don't got to. We can just see from right there. All right, let's see. He looks happy.
Looks like he's grabbing his chain.
He's just a normal man reading the list.
Yeah, he looks really happy. I don't see. I think you guys.
He knows what he wants. knows what he
I
wants to
think you
do.
guys are so used to toxicity. You're projecting onto this man. I think this
That's
list
what
is
a
perfectly
happy. That's
healthy.
what
I
a
was about to
happy
say he
man
don't
looks
look
like.
happy.
He don't look happy at all. What?
He looks
He,
very
no,
peaceful
no,
and
no, no.
good
See,
to me.
see,
Pause.
He
y'all. See,
looks
and
Pause.
over it,
The
but
love
he
this
of
is why
doesn't
the
look
management
happy.
men are here, right? We
the
gotta
love of Tay.
explain to you
Welcome
all.
to the membership, Dab. I will be dabbing for everyone who joins the membership. Thank you. Also, let's try not to have the panel devolve into whatever it is that's going on, and let's remain constructive.
I got you. All right. Well, so
So
on a serious note,
no paying for dates. I think. Well, that's obviously again. I think the date is going to have to be paid for. So it doesn't make sense unless the woman's paying for you to not pay for the date. But if you're saying you're only paying for your half, I don't think that has to be vitriolic, and I do think that can be a healthy standard. Um, Now, if you're a man and you're looking for a traditional patriarchal normal gender role relationship, I do think you probably should be paying for the date because your dating life should look like what your relationship's going to look like. So discipline is a muscle you train. You're not going to go 50-50 every single day and then, oh, once we marry, I'm going to just switch into provider mode. And it's going to be like, yeah, I do think you should demonstrate qualities of what you want your long-term relationship to be before you do it. So moving on to the next standard. No daily texting. Um, can one of the men explain this one to me? Because what?
for sure.
Posse was explaining it, and he said, or Pass, my bad, and he said, obviously you would just be calling each other. Is that right?
Are
He's
you talking?
huh?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I thought earlier when I said
Hey,
no
I'm
daily
sorry.
texting.
Changing my name. All right. Yeah, man, it's Posse on here. Yeah, I would say people would call. You would call. People don't. Me. I don't really like the texting thing. I really don't.
So it would be like daily calling instead of daily texting.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm all right. So let me because I was being petty on purpose. I was being petty to channel my inner pettiness since the panel. All right, but to be honest with you, that list is very vitriolic. It is not it's not, I don't think it's a legitimate list that consists of principles that a man's trying to keep for actual woman. I think they're doing it out of spite because of men's desire for sex, right? That second one is this idea that most women have, or not most women, but most men have, that I think is very off. That women are these creatures or people who want to be contacted all day, and they actually don't. I wouldn't suggest any man text a woman all day, because the question then becomes, what are you doing? So that second one is kind of redundant in my head. Right. I think that second point is a stereotype to women always want to be in contact with men, not realizing that women today actually don't want that, and they kind of don't need men in regards to anything. They got their own place, they got their own stuff. What they need to call and talk to you all day for?
When I first met my husband, and I apologize, guys, I'm in the car. I would not text him. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like to not text back, I didn't even know that was like a problem until he told me. So I agree with that.
Coming from someone who actually enjoys phone calls, don't call me every day. Do not do that. Like you can text me because I'm busy. Like a lot of times I'm all over the place. So it's better to text first just to even see if I have time to talk.
Gorgeous.
So
I,
go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say, just because even here we have like diverse opinions and preferences. That may just be something we need to add into the initial beginning phase. So, how do you prefer to be contacted? So everybody's good, because I think because there's such a lack of uh, communication and genuine connecting, it would be refreshing if these forms of communication would be refreshing. I mean, calls are like premium, high up on the communication list, and texting is fine. So he's saying no daily texting. So I guess he's saying he's gonna not hit you with a a good morning queens and good morning beautifuls or whatever. That's what I'm thinking that he's saying he's taking away. He's not going to be saying grand rising queen, and that's totally fine.
Again, I think that bullet point is literally made off of the stereotype that women, if they like you, are gonna be all up in your face. Right? It's a generalization that I think could be true, and I think that's why it's put there. The problem is, I don't think he's considering the type of women that are in America today and their thoughts on men or even relationships. They don't got time to talk to you all day because they don't want to. So
wait. So, Chicky, you think men really believe that though?
look,
Like,
man,
don't
we
want to
Pastor,
be in contact?
You see me fight a lot of these manosphere talking points with logic.
Yeah,
You
but
see
I've
how
never heard this talking point though, and this is an
oh
actual
man, you know the first thing you know what they're gonna say.
not, but
She
not
emotionally
not the texting and calling, because I was like daily texting. Like, who daily texts someone? You may call them like once, maybe a day in the
let's
evening time or something. I'll wait for them to
let's
call
think
you, but
let's think about again,
I
pull
don't.
up. Let's look at this man one more time, right?
This
We
is
was being
crazy.
joking. We was joking
That's
around.
why I asked, because that's why I asked. What's his list?
He looked like the
List
person
made
that's
up.
telling he looked like the person that's gonna tell you women are emotional.
Yeah. Okay,
And
I
the
get it.
moment
I
they
get it.
connect
Yeah,
with you, they want to talk to you all day.
he a
Right?
spiteful nigga. He look like a spiteful nigga in that picture. We know this. Like, we know this.
We try
But
not to
what
use
I'm
the
saying
N
is,
word
do you
over
think the
here,
majority
Fernando,
of
please.
men really think that
Hold on,
women talk
wait,
to them
Pastor. He
dating?
said we try not to use
All right,
the
okay, yeah, I'm gonna tone it down over here.
Cultured colored over
Because you know how
here.
I get.
ultra color.
He's he
Something wrong with
okay.
him.
But do you think that men really believe that women text all day like that? This is what I'm
Yes.
getting at.
Yes. Fam, you oh my goodness. You know
I
some
know
of the
I know
things.
the couple of I know the redundancies that come up on your panel, but
So that's what I'm saying.
I
These
don't think
same men
I
would
don't think
have
the
that
majority
logic.
of people on YouTube. Okay, all right.
But it's not, it's not meant for YouTube. It's meant for manosphere. Like these things, you if you look at those points, the audience is not meant for YouTube or abroad. It's meant for a
That
niche
list is
audience.
a shame.
It would be red pill / manosphere. So we know it's not meant for every man, because most men looking at that list would be like, well, first of all, Negro, who want to do that? I ain't got time. I'm not thinking about texting all day, and she not either. We got jobs.
Did I say we don't use the N word over here? And you said
I didn't say the
Negro,
N word. I said
and you
Negro. That's different, right?
yes, it is technically, but anyway.
Petty, come on, buddy. Come on, buddy.
Just one
Okay,
time.
all right. Well, I guess I don't know.
I'm just saying the super colored man looks super colored, right? That's
So
whoa, that's worse.
yeah, I would
I
say
know,
colored
right?
is worse. And I did use it earlier, so I do apologize. That was
That's like saying people of color. Horrible.
not people of color. So the rule says no daily texting. I don't. What my interpretation I think was different than y'all's. My interpretation was men who make a over investment in someone to a like disgusting degree. Y'all saw some women in the comments who were saying the men who were like texting day after day after day after day, multiple times a day, maybe not even getting a text back and texting over and over again. I think for me, I read it as someone not pestering somebody, especially when it seems like the person you're bothering doesn't want to be bothered. I didn't think it was somebody saying you should call daily instead. I assume they were like they would include that in no daily
no
texting.
communication daily.
I literally talk on the phone all day, so this is terrible. This is a terrible rule. But no, I don't think it's a bad rule in the context of stop like double triple texting. I mean, maybe one, like sometimes people get busy, sometimes people have stuff to do, people forget. Yeah, but like constantly back to back to back, especially if you're not getting a response, no, I don't think that's healthy. I just think they're writing the rules in the most unhealthy way. Anyway, the third rule: no kissing hugging, or sex? Bourbon Bougie says she agrees with this rule. I don't necessarily disagree with it if physical intimacy is something that you feel like you need to withhold until you have been with somebody for a while, then I think that's fine. That is quite odd coming from this is not the impression I usually get from men, that we should wait to kiss and hug and have sex for 90 days, but I'm here for it. You better save your virginity and don't put your lips on these people and hugging them. Ill germs.
Cooties, bro. Come on.
No, but if you're setting this as a legitimate standard that makes you comfortable because you don't want physical intimacy for a certain amount of time, which I consider kissing and hugging physical intimacy outside of sexual intimacy. I don't think that's bad. Obviously, I don't know that you're going to find a lot of people who are going to be okay with not even hugging or kissing. Sex maybe, but hugging and kissing.
Eddie, wait a minute. So you telling me kissing and hugging? Never mind. That's gonna rehash. Never mind. Okay.
I don't think you will find. I didn't say it's a bad standard to have, and if it's
no, it's not even about this, right? I was
Mhm.
about to time the previous topic. I'm not gonna do it because
I mean,
it's bad.
if you feel like there's hypocrisy anywhere, you can. To be fair, I did say if you have a 90-day rule around sex, there are going to be men who are definitely not about to wait for 90 days. They said it themselves when we watched the video, and it's going to weed out a lot of people. But if it's something that you need to do to protect yourself, I don't think it's bad. And I do think it's worth it to, weed out people.
I do have a question for that one.
Mm-hmm.
So, are they okay with hugging and kissing the homies platonically, of course, within that 90 days?
Yeah, obviously.
Stop playing. Stop. Stop playing. Cancer. That was nice. It was funny. But no, we're not going for it.
Don't you know, if a woman doesn't give a man hugs and kisses, he's going to find it elsewhere. And I'm not talking about other women. I'm talking about
yo. He's channeling the short. He's channeling the short energy.
Okay, that's how y'all got here, the shorts.
No, I got here from watching Demons and Thought.
Yeah.
Well, actually, my female subscriber base, they put me on to you guys. Because I got pretty much what the manosphere will call terrorists. They all in my chat room. So technically, right, they call me a simp. You said what now, Passe?
I said you got the whole Taliban in the chat.
Yeah, they call me a simp, and then the women call me too hard on them. So I feel like I'm a nice balance due to that. But who knows? Maybe after you watching whatever you're gonna watch, you may not agree at all.
We gonna find out. Did any of y'all have anything on no kissing, hugging, sex, gorgeous?
I mean, at least the hugging and kissing part. No, you can't do that.
If somebody has a boundary regarding physical intimacy for a healthy reason, I don't think it's bad to.
Oh no, if it's a healthy reason, that's fine. I would wonder though if they had some issues going on, but
Again, if somebody's like, this is a response to you making a 90-day rule where we're not kissing, anyway, like, don't make it a response. Do it because you genuinely feel like this should be a rule for you. Gorgeous.
I was gonna say, I feel like he's shooting his own self in the foot with this particular rule. So it's like, okay, because we've already talked about how in general it's men who value the physicality of things. So okay, you don't want to do
that is so not true.
All of their attachment style is physical touch anyway.
Yes, so. Like every time you bring up the 5 love languages and a guy's in the room, I'm like, I'm Miss Cleo. I already know your love language is physical touch. Duh, whatever. But
that's so.
We're saying overall in general. Of course, there are always outliers in this world. But
you're saying it doesn't seem realistic.
You are so wrong. You don't know. We want physical and emotional intimacy too.
You can get physical intimacy from the homies.
No, we said both. I don't do that. I said both.
See, and I think the women, and this is the part where I'm gonna disagree with the women because y'all are talking about. I've never met a man who's not going to get some physical intimacy. That's their love language. Absolutely. You know, I will agree with you generally, even though I don't think this is like
It's not every
hardwired.
single one.
Generally,
but-
yes, I think that's how men act. But let's not pretend like dudes don't be cuddling with home. I mean, well, the secret's out
what?
now. Let me just tell on
What?
guys. I can speak for all men when I say we
You
be
cannot.
hugging,
You
holding
cannot.
on each other, cuddling.
You really
And I speak for all cis hetero men only. I don't speak for any other men, but cis
No.
hetero.
You speak for a lot of
When I
different
say
men, my
we
guy.
can find it somewhere else. But to move on to the second rule, well, first
And then you
production
just gonna move on. Like, okay, cool.
production inquiry said, you gonna date someone 4 or 5 times and just shake hands? Absolutely not, because we're gonna skip rules 4, 5, and 6 and move straight on to rule 7. No displays of public
break it.
affection.
Just
We're
break
gonna
the
go back.
rule.
We're gonna go back to those rules, but number 7 says no displays of public affection. So no, we're not holding hands. We're not shaking hands. I don't even want people to know we're dating. They should look at you and think you're my sister or somebody.
You should
Can
Wait,
they
so
curtsy.
which
at each
two
other?
rules are that?
No,
Which-
y'all should curtsy, right? Just curtsy. Do the little curtsy thing, and we'll be all right.
Would
Curtsy.
looking at each other be
That-
displays of affection, public affection?
It depends. How are you looking at me?
Well, you're right. You know what? Can't look at
See?
them.
Yeah. All right. If
can't
you're looking at
wink
me
at
like
'em.
petty,
That's
if you're looking at me
affection.
like petty, I'm taking you to the hospital because I think you got a seizure. But
So
You have to speak side by side.
It doesn't seem like none of us agree with no displays of public affection.
I would if you're in Saudi Arabia or Middle Eastern country.
he says Saudi Arabia.
Well, yeah, if it's against the law, I can see I can
In
see why.
Dubai, yeah.
I don't know.
I
that
would
it's
only.
against the law there.
I would agree with it on those levels alone.
But again, if this is what you feel is a healthy boundary for you, displaying public affection is a no-no. I mean, it doesn't say he can't display private affection, sure, but I'm going to, when you put all of this list together, I'm just questioning, well, what is dating to you? We're not going on dates, texting, talking, kissing, hugging. We're not showing emotion to you. Like
Hey,
this.
Petty,
I suppose they
you
are
ever-
getting to know each other intellectually or something.
All right. No.
How can I be so close-minded?
Do you ever
Intellectual
watch
connection.
those, like, those action shows or whatever where the guys are trying to talk to each other without talking to each other? So they're sitting on the park bench with a newspaper, just chit-chatting with each other. That's his dating. Like, you didn't pay for anything. You went to the park. You sat on the bench. You're not looking. There's no eye contact. So there's no public affection there. You're not touching each other. You're just sitting there with your book or your newspaper, just chit-chatting with each other. I feel like that's his dating.
Okay, yeah, rule broken. We're breaking up. At least I am. I'm breaking.
Wait. You can't break up if we're not officially dating. So
No,
technically,
she said break the rule.
No, break the rule where that rule is meant to be broken. I think if you tell me not to touch you, like, not in like in a way that you don't want, but if I know that you want it,
Random.
you testing the limit.
huh?
I'm sorry. I'm a
No,
Scorpio
you're not.
guy,
Hey,
so I'm
look.
Huh?
I'm not saying I'm following this 90-day rule. You let me know what you want to do.
So Ginger Snap says treating you like an acquaintance. That seems to be what a lot of people in the chat are saying. But Random Chew said, I went on a lot of dates with my current husband before I started physical affection, like over 10 dates. So apparently this is a standard that works for some people. Maybe this has to do with, maybe it's a more traditional standard. Well, no, because I feel like courting is definitely more traditional. I was going to say, maybe it just has to do with chastity or something that's more old timey. But I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. I'm sure there is someone out there who is completely comfortable with not kissing for a certain amount of time. They said 90 days. Maybe yours is 60, 30, 10 dates. What's that, like 2 months? Don't know. But hey, if it works for you, it works for you.
Hey, that's
Wait a minute,
fine.
what
But
last-
Random Chew.
Do you think men will actually
date?
abide by that rule? Like in reality, like no touching or no.
If
Same
if
way
a man
women
sets
would.
this as his standard, I'm going to hope that he adheres to it in the same way we talked about the 90-day rule for sex with women. Do I
I
think
don't
it's
believe that.
likely?
Wow.
No, I don't think it's.
See,
I don't actually think it's likely that men will take this. Well, even one of these rules, but multiple of them and apply them. No, I don't think so.
you know, that's crazy, right? Because when I was saying that for the women, it was no real pushback. But
When it
you know,
comes to
it is what
women,
it
I
is.
mean, we can talk
If
about
y'all want to be sexist, that's fine. I'm
we
with
can
it. I
talk about
support
the
you.
statistical likelihood of a woman to be able to not have sex for an extended period of time versus the likelihood of a man not. This is talking about kissing, sex, hugging, texting, paying for dates, picking her up from her place, helping her with like as a statistical likelihood, citation needed. I don't think this is something that is applicable in general to men in a way that I think the woman's 90-day rule would be to women.
Oh, what? You don't think most men got to pay for the date?
No paying for the dates. I still think it's colloquially accepted that the man will pay for the date.
Okay, so there
I
goes
don't know.
one
Even though we're in
statistical.
an egalitarian, supposedly society, and we're all equal, I do still think it is common for men to pay for dates. Even men who are like, I'm 50-50 or whatever. I feel like even them will still pay for the first date. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be. So
We got to change that, Petty.
Well-
we must fight for our right.
if that,
Well,
hey,
at least the
look,
women's list is they're just like, hey, we're just waiting for sex. They didn't say anything about we won't give you a hug. Like,
yeah,
this whole thing sounds so silly.
It doesn't. I think you're just being closed-minded, and it is
Well,
what it is, right?
now I
I
don't
was
know
just
when you're
gonna say,
trolling or not.
okay.
Come on, Petty dog.
But I'm going to give space for men who say that they can adhere to this set of rules in a healthy way. I'm gonna give it to them. The next rule, number 4, no picking her up from her place. Bourbon Bougie said she likes this rule because as a woman, she thinks this is something y'all should be following anyway. The idea of someone knowing where you live and this is the first date, second date, or you've only known each other for a few weeks. I think that could make a lot of women feel dangerous. So, I mean, in the spirit of helping someone not feel threatened, I don't think that's inappropriate. I wouldn't say no picking her up from her place for 90 days. I think it has to do with an appropriate amount of time that you feel like for vetting someone and making sure, like, you don't know if you're going to walk in her place and she's going to kill you or something. You don't know if obviously she feels threatened with you around since you're a new person. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad one. I think most people meet at the venue nowadays or get an Uber or something. Any
But
comments from
traditionally,
anyone?
that's not the case, right? Traditionally, you pick her up from her
Traditionally,
place.
yeah, I do think traditionally you would pick the woman up.
So it seems like this list is kind of combating traditional ideas, right? Because the expectation or the list, this list seems like a culmination of traditional things that men used to do or would do. And they're not trying to do that now, right? With the exception of a couple, right? Paying for rent or bills, I'm not sure about that one, right? I've never in my life have I ever, ever. Mm-mm. But now the paying for the dinner date and picking her up and all that stuff, yeah, that seems like traditional stuff.
So yeah, it seems this list is at contradiction with traditional standards. Do you think that's bad? Do you think it's good? Neither.
I think it's modern. I think more men need to be that way. I think the problem that we tend to have is we keep trying to apply patriarchal views and standards to women who are not in the same position as the women before, and it's being shown through their education, their ability to make money, their own standards of dating. So I think we should adjust. I think we shouldn't pay for the meals or the dates. Just split it. All right.
No,
Makes sense.
Dutch is for cocoa and chocolate.
Wait. Why is Dutch for cocoa and chocolate?
Dutch is for cocoa and chocolate.
But that's a traditional thing, and I don't think we live in a traditional society. We live in a modern society, and I think all of our things need to be updated, including the patriarchy. All right, no more patriarchy.
Before y'all continue, Random Shoe says no. Traditionally, you met up at a diner for your date if you're talking to the average person. I feel like I'm not very old, but when I was younger, it was definitely like the man would come and pick you up to take you
Open
to
your
dinner, or
door.
the man would come to prom and I guess meet your parents and stuff and then take you to prom. It wouldn't be like the woman comes to your house in her prom dress and she like you walking down the stairs and she take you to the limo and take you to, like, no, I definitely feel like as far as courtship and the man initiating stuff, I do. But maybe I'm not old. I don't think I'm as old as anybody in my audience, so it's fine. But who hopped off? A free hopped off. A free at the gym, working out, driving. So I mean, anyway, yeah, I think I'm not against you as far as breaking gender norm and moving towards egalitarian society. I do think a lot of people are against that, and I do think it's okay if you, as an individual in your relationship, have a certain standard that is traditional. I think that's fine. So, 2L said, "Nope, I'll meet you there until I feel comfortable to have you pick me up from home." Y'all can continue, by the way. I just wanted to.
That's the most sound rule on the list, really.
That is insane.
Is meeting at the venue, or not letting, a new stranger know where you live as a woman. So yeah, that one I actually agree with.
Same.
Wait. But going Dutch on the date is a no-go for y'all?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Why?
this has to do, even though this is a traditional value, I think this has to do again with safety. I think people would feel, well, women would feel more safe with a man not knowing where they live or picking them up from a place that they live and just meeting at the venue instead. So I don't think there's hypocrisy there.
I think that's one way thinking though. I think if you are so I think that's safety on your end, right? But then there should be some form of financial or some form of financial security on the end too, right? Because we know that there are women that will take opportunities for a man that is interested in them to just use their wallet, like you were saying beforehand. And I think it'd be safe on his end, right? It's safe for you on your end, and it's safe on him.
Yeah.
On him.
So I don't think, even though I have a certain way I think society should be, and I agree with you, I think within your individual relationship, a woman can still choose that I want a man who does do the traditional things, and vice versa. Even though women are saying I feel unsafe with a man picking me up, number one, I think there are still women who want a man to pick them up, and number two, I think if you're a man and a part of your dating is that you feel like you need to do the traditional role of picking a woman up, then I think you're entitled to whatever standard you have in your dating life. So I mean, I don't think there's.
I think the picking you up thing, first you have to have some kind of level of relationship established first before I'm even giving you my address. But then once that happens, like, yeah, sure, pick me up.
Wait, so you don't have to have some level of understanding when it comes to payment, but you need it for being picked up?
We're talking finances versus
No. We're talking relationship and understanding one another.
Yeah, but we're also talking finances versus protection, I think, are different. Even when I make the comparison between a woman using a man for his wallet compared to a man using his woman for her body, so I feel like I would categorize those different.
Okay, sure. We can categorize those different. Absolutely. But the idea of knowing who it is that you're paying for, I think, is applicable. You don't know who's picking you up, and I don't know who I'm paying for.
I have not had men get upset.
Oh, no, y'all can't see the comparison. I don't know. This date could go terrible, and I'm still expected to pay for it, right?
So when it comes to when it comes to a risk assessment, the risk of me paying for a random woman I don't know, I think is like I'm down $20, or I don't know how much y'all pay for.
Oh, see, you said Applebee's. Petty.
Applebee's 2 for $20 is a thing. I don't know.
Ask these women if they going on Applebee's dates. Let's ask them.
Coffee shop. We're talking about first dates. Coffee shops and such. Restaurants, usually movies.
Ladies,
I'm down. What I'm down is a little bit of time and some money. If I allow someone to pick me up from my house and it's the wrong person, this is my life that could be in danger. This is my sexual chastity that could be in danger. I feel like these are two distinctly different risks.
Oh man. Okay. I like I said, it is different risk, right? And the level of risk is incumbent on the perspective. Mm-hmm. So let me ask y'all. Let me ask Cancer out and Gorgeous, right? What Applebee's 2 for $20 cool, right?
You already know the answer to that.
No, I don't. Because no,
Absolutely.
wait, hold on.
No.
Let me ask two questions, right? But they fall in the same category. Coffee dates and Apple for 2 for $20. That's good, right?
No, because just like
What?
even like where I
Coffee
take
is not
myself,
even a
I
date.
don't eat
That's
at
a meetup.
Applebee's. I don't take myself to
Petty, you see
Applebee's,
this?
so I'm
Yeah,
not
they
going
don't.
to.
We
We've
can go
already discussed
places I
this on my.
usually go, but I go nice places. So I don't know what he doing.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we've
Just
already
like
discussed this on my channel before, but these women, they are not with anything as far as my beliefs when it comes to dating. We are partially opposed. They are not going to no coffee shops. They are not going to,
no.
and that's fine. I'm a date within my bracket.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But
Yeah.
the men I've dated, they don't even let me pay for
Oh, y'all are
anything
grown
anyway.
too. My bad.
Like they
I
just
forgot.
don't do it.
Huh?
Y'all are grown too. I forgot.
Back.
Not
I'm just
grown.
saying, I don't. Even if you're grown, what I'm saying, Petty, is as you can see, 2 for $20 is not what. See, go back. Hey, Petty, go back to that one. Go back to that one.
Y'all ain't dropping.
Or they telling some truths in there now.
You
Look
don't
at
have
that.
to
Look at
drop
that. 150
150
Petty.
for dinner.
Wait, I
Petty,
thought they were
Petty.
coming for you.
Applebee's?
Who? Coming for who?
I thought this comment was coming for. Maybe I missed.
No, it's coming for you, buddy. You said 2 for $20. I didn't.
This comment is attacking me.
It got to be. I didn't say 2 for $20.
I mean,
You put a value on
when
that.
it comes to how you date, I think you should. It would be weird for me to be going to like fancy steak houses and such like that. It would be weird for me to be doing that because that's not how I go out to eat by myself. I generally date in the way that I exist alone. I feel like I don't want to misrepresent myself. So if these women are saying they're expecting high-end stuff, I'm going to assume it's
It
because
doesn't have
they're
to be
dating
super
with.
high end, but the places I go are
Yeah,
like
like this is
usually
like
about 30 per
Applebee's is like
person.
the McDonald's
Look, Petty,
I live
they
in a
turning
small
on you.
town.
restaurant chain.
I live in a
But
small
you know
town.
what? You
We
can
just
go really nice places
got
without
a
spending.
Walmart. We just got a McDonald's. Look, it's not a lot to work with.
But Petty, even the really nice restaurants over here, if you go for brunch, you can get a decent meal for like 15 to 20 per person. It doesn't have to be
So let me ask,
it
does
doesn't
the
have to be
dollar amount
trash just because
does
you didn't
the
spend that
dollar
much.
amount actually matter? Like if you're going to a nice, y'all seem to not like Applebee's, which is fine. But if you're going to
Applebee's fire, huh?
like there are mom and pop. There are some mom and pop shops around restaurants around where I live, like local restaurants, and you can go and get a nice dinner for maybe $30 for both of you. But I also live in a really, really, really cheap city. I don't know, in California or New York, I assume it's going to be much more expensive. So
Or Atlanta.
in my mind, the dollar amount doesn't matter. What matters, I guess, is that you're doing something that is repeatable to you, sustainable to you, and that you're not misrepresenting where you're at. Let me see. I had 2L said, I had a guy that said I insulted him when I offered to pay half for the crappy date. I left tip money and he blocked me. That's interesting.
Sounds like a patriarchal traditional male ego that's fragile. But me, on the other hand, the modern man, oh yeah, nah. You should actually, I would suggest you pay 50. You know, I say 50.
Period.
That's where I'm at. Look,
I like it, Betty.
You can tell where I come from.
Y'all be cool, bro. I'll see y'all around.
All right,
okay,
fam.
thank you for joining. I guess I can add production to the screen as well. If you have, you were talking that smack in the comments, so you better represent up here.
I wasn't talking smack. I'm just saying the idea that all these guys are spending a ton of money on dates is not accurate. And kind of what you
know you're not spending the money.
We know because we eat there all the time.
No, I have real money. That's why. So I know what I drop with my girls and what I also.
Y'all don't take the bait.
No, for real. No, serious.
Petty, you can ask men if the home. Come on, man. Come on, man.
No, Petty, you made a good point. There are other types of restaurants where you can do for $80, you can get a really nice meal for two people. So like to act like the whole online thing of $300 dates and that's a lie. Y'all ain't doing that. And I live in a major city. I live in a number 4 media market. So it's possible, it's plausible to get a really good meal for $80.
So obviously it's an exaggeration, but I think what the men are saying is we are being asked to date out of our budget. They're just exaggerating it and saying, "Oh, I paid for a $200 date and then she ghosted me" or something weird. But I do think that's what they're saying in a less nonsensical way.
Maybe
No,
they're
$200 dates
dating
are
outside of their
no.
league.
Like
Now,
What's
out of their
being
budget.
said is, I think it's fair, right? I
Mhm,
don't know what I'm paying for.
mhm.
And since it's not that big of a deal, money's not that big of a deal, then why not just pay for your own meal and we just pay for the time we spent together?
I think so. That comes across to me as you are not currently worth me investing the other half of this meal.
Exactly.
What? Heck, I can do it. Excuse me.
Let them know, Petty.
You're currently not worth investing for this half of the meal, or what I said earlier, which I like a lot better. Um, I don't know that this is something where you're going to be using me. I'd like to protect myself and feel like this is a healthy standard. I like that a lot better than I don't know if you're worth investing for this meal. But ultimately, I think that's what the 90-day rule, even when we talked about it for women, is. I don't currently know if you're worth investing something. I don't know if you're going to switch up once I do this. I don't know if X, Y, or Z is going to happen. And this is what I think is a healthy means of protecting myself. I don't think that's bad. If someone tells me you're not worth investing this half of the date for, now I'm not going on a date with that person. But for someone to have that standard, I don't think is inherently bad.
Right. I think the problem is one side is respected and the other side is not understood or respected. Right. I understand you looking out for your sexual chastity, and I agree with it. But I think a man should look out for his quote unquote time and investment and the person he's dating. You need to make sure she's worth dating. Right. And on the first date, if you don't know, go 50-50. And when you feel comfortable giving that investment or being willing to pay that time, then you pay 100% as the man. But it's up to you as the man to determine that, just like it's up to the woman for her to determine her sexual chastity and stuff like that.
Yeah, but like I said earlier, I wouldn't think it was good for when we talked about a woman making someone wait for a certain amount of time. I said, even when what you just said, well, oh, maybe you go out with a girl and she's like, she seems like a good investment, so you pay for her dinner, but you go out with this girl and she doesn't, so you don't pay for her dinner. I don't think that's appropriate. I think what would be more appropriate is, even though this person seems worth this or that, I think there's a healthy means that I should employ of protecting myself. Maybe I just have an issue with looking at it as an investment, even though technically I guess it is an investment on both parts.
Most definitely.
But Random Shoe said she needed some examples of investing based on what and what makes his investment worth it. I think that was towards you, Cheeky, or it might have been towards me. What makes
No, this is your audience. It's probably towards me since I'm the one being the contrary. So she need examples of what. What she just say? Lord have mercy.
Go ahead and read the comment.
She wants to know what we are investing based. I guess she's saying investing based on what, and she wants to know
money, energy, my presence. It took me all day to get dressed up in this button up and on my pants and stuff. It took a long
I have
time.
a question.
It took you all day to put on a button up.
Wait a minute! Don't see you're not respecting the effort that it takes to look good for y'all. That's the problem.
Yeah, to suck in that stomach and get the button down. Like
I'm saying, Petty, let them know. Let them know how hard we got to suck in our stomach. Come on, man.
It takes a good 5 hours to get the stomach in the pants. Y'all just don't be knowing how hard.
They have no idea, no clue. Or come back, Petty. Where you at?
Sometimes my camera malfunction.
That's bullshit.
Empathy is a superpower. Welcome to the membership. I'm so excited to have all the new members here. Now I have to do members only stuff. Here's your membership dab. Everybody who joins the membership will get a dab. That's what we're gonna do until further notice. Thank you. But my bad. Yes, but yeah, it does take a good 6 hours to put on a suit at least. I would
I
say
have a,
being generous.
I have a question for Cheeky. Are you
What's
more
that?
willing to pay up front if you feel the woman is more attractive?
Um, no, because attractiveness doesn't determine the character of a woman. All it does is determine how much that person may or may not want to sleep with her and how quickly. But that's not a
Oh,
real character base of anything, right? Like, for example, if she's attractive but she's dumb as rocks, what good is that?
Afree says, "Thank you, Petty, for hosting and tolerating my shenanigans." Thank you for joining, Afree. I haven't seen you in a long time. It was nice to see you again. Um,
Oh,
Random Chu said, if anybody wanted to respond to what he said regarding attraction and physical not being, I guess, worth it compared
Apparently,
to.
Cheeky said degrees do matter. So
Absolutely. We're here for that. Random Chu said, I'm
right.
talking
See,
about.
like I'm modern and consistent.
So Random Shoe says, I'm talking about what about her makes you realize she's worth investing in. So I think this is still towards you, Cheeky. But for me,
Yeah,
I don't think I personally don't think you should withhold finances on the first date if you're a man who wants a traditional looking relationship. If you see yourself being the breadwinner and being the head of the household and paying for the bills and paying for, I don't know, people paying tuition out here or whatever men pay for, I think you should demonstrate those qualities in your relationship or while you're dating before you're married. I think
I agree.
a better
Yeah,
thing would be maybe levels. Obviously, there's one on here about paying bills. Maybe you shouldn't be paying someone's bills on the first date. Maybe you don't want to go out to an expensive place or whatever. But I do feel like you should be demonstrating something that will be what you will be demonstrating in the marriage. So when it comes to me, I don't, again, I keep saying, I don't think it's healthy to think of it in a way like, oh, I'm just not going to invest in you until X, Y, or Z. What I think would make someone worth investing in, I think may vary from man to man. Cheeky says he's here for the degrees and the intelligence, and being pretty don't pay the bills. So we're
yeah,
here for it.
and also right. Like I think I am showing provision for my half. All right, and you need to show provision for your half. So, I mean, if we're just going to be consistent, we can do the tick for tack, right? Like, and that's the thing.
So
It's funny. It's funny. We're okay with patriarchal standards and certain things, and I understand, of course, like every human is hypocritical at some point, right? So I'm
so
not mad at them.
you're not talking to me, you're talking to my audience.
Sure, whoever has the idea. If you don't have the same idea, then we good to go.
So this is we're gonna have the 50-50 conversation at some point in the traditional versus 50-50 man, pretty much, and whether or not this is a standard that should continue. Is this a fair standard to have?
Of
Because of
course it
course
is.
I'm a modern man, so
I'm a modern man as well.
I'm an
So
egalitarian person. Obviously, my audience disagrees with me generally on that, and obviously,
really,
yeah.
I
I
cannot believe that. I do
I
not.
think
Are you serious?
I do think y'all want a more traditional style relationship when it comes to conversation in this sector and doing gender roles and stuff like that, like the submission and the femininity conversation and stuff like that. A lot of the conversation isn't necessarily we want to go 50-50, we want to be egalitarian and stuff like that. A lot of the conversation has to do with the fact that the women feel like they're not being put in a position to play a traditional role, like the smile more, or why are black women masculine, why are they so aggressive. Since I assume it's mostly, if not all, black women here, a lot of the women say, well, I don't feel protected in the community. How can I be protected when the traditional male isn't playing the traditional male role, or the men want to go 50-50, but they also want me to do a traditional role? So I don't think it's necessarily that people here want, I think more than anything, they want the man to be doing what the man is supposed to be doing in a patriarchy and doing the male role, which I don't think people feel like is being done in the black community, at least.
Oh, okay. So it's not that patriarchy is an issue. It's just the qualifications of the men asking for patriarchy is the problem.
I mean, I think patriarchy is an issue. I also think
Well,
patriarchal relationships is an issue. I mean, there's also conflict within me because we're, as much as people don't like it, we're in a patriarchy. Is it fair for me to say you guys should be egalitarian and you should go 50-50 and all of this when we're currently in a patriarchy? Isn't it fair for the women to say, at least while we're in a patriarchy, until we move to a society where we are equal, I would like the man to play the male role. To not engage in that, I feel like some women feel like they're losing out.
I think that what you're saying could be true if they weren't making advancements and outdoing it, right? It'd be different if we still had the same patriarchal stipulations and no voting and no this and no that, but they have the ability to vote, they have the ability to work, they're doing it. They have the ability to go to school. They have the things that made the patriarchy is slowly dissipating into nothingness, right? I'm not saying that we're in an egalitarian system, but I am saying with the more money and the more education and the more this and the third, I think it's only fair. The Schmins are broke. It's okay. What's wrong with being? Hold on, wait, Petty. What's wrong with being broke?
Welcome, Venus. I think there's a lot wrong with
it up front.
There's a lot wrong with being broke. No wet handshakes. Welcome again, Themis. Themis said the Schmins are broke. The Schmins are broke. This is our. Let me screenshot this. This is our first super chat from Themis. So let me grab a. We're all today. Yeah, all.
I love it. A lot of first.
I like that brotherly love. And they said black men couldn't build relationships.
Well, I've been trying to. We talked about relationships between men today, platonically, and y'all didn't want.
No. See, because you keep doing that thing, and I don't like when you're doing that. All right,
but
Petty,
anyway,
you got it. You
even if you are an egalitarian person, I don't believe the relationships in the black community are egalitarian. So for even you to be 50-50 in the black community, at least the men would have to do more than they currently are. And I think it would be 50-50, I think would be an improvement, but I don't think men and women in the black community generally split household bills and childcare and domestic. I don't think it's generally split 50-50 currently. So even 50-50, I believe, would be an improvement in the
sure. Okay.
But I'm not. I don't know that I can, in good conscience, say that someone who's in a patriarchal society who wants a patriarchal relationship, I don't know that I can, in good faith, say that they are wrong for wanting that. So, carry a child 50% of the time. Absolutely, men can get pregnant. That's what I believe, at least.
Wait, that doesn't make sense. If we're not having sex, holding hands, or doing any of those things, how did child get there?
You're right. Let's quickly go back to the men's standards so that we can get through.
No. That's the men and the women's standards. She got pregnant by Jesus Christ?
Sex. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Isn't this going to be in a long-term marriage or relationship?
No. This is dating. We didn't say nothing about marriage.
Oh, I thought they were talking about. So you're talking.
Says carry the child 50% of the time. Mm-hmm. And if we both agree we're not having sex and you're paying, and when I'm not paying for your side and I'm just paying for mine, how the baby get there?
Oh, so you're saying in a childless marriage or childless relationship?
Yeah, he said carry the child 50% of the time.
We're based off outside of the rule list, obviously at this point.
Oh, okay. No, I was still within the confines of like, hey, look, I think that's fair. I think women's 90-day is fair. No sex for the man. And then the same thing should apply for the man and him paying for the date as well. I don't know what I'm investing in. I'm not sure what kind of character you have. And until I feel safe and comfortable with knowing who you are as a woman, then I'll pay for all this stuff. Maybe, right?
Maybe. Do you believe in 50-50?
Well, see, because the thing is the 90-day thing, the 90-day thing may continue on.
But then doesn't that make sex feel like a transaction in that case?
No, because it's about security.
You're not getting my sex in exchange for I'm not getting your sex.
No, because what sex is one of those things that it is equal, like you were thinking. It's equivalent exchange.
How?
Well, that's what Petty says. He says he thinks that it's equivalent. So I'm sticking with that logic.
If most women aren't achieving a climax, how is it an equal exchange?
You're asking the wrong person. I didn't say
Well,
I
you
didn't say
brought
it
it up
was.
as a defense, so I'm just.
Oh, no. I didn't bring it up as a defense. I used an example. Petty says it's an equal exchange, and I say, okay, sure.
Should sex be an equal exchange? Do you believe? Cheeky.
What are you asking me?
Should sex be an equal exchange?
By all means, why not?
Themis said, "Sounds broke." I don't know what he said that in response.
Look, you can't broke shame me. Like that's so traditional of him.
We
I'm so
can,
tired of
and
that.
he is. We can.
Yeah,
And he is.
he needs to be a modern man and grow up, show some maturity.
Cheeky said, we are staying strangers." Energy vampirism. Well, I have to Google that now. The problem is
He's
that
saying a
he's dating in a
vampire.
non-traditional way. We're thinking about traditional. I mean, yeah, if you're, yeah.
Look,
I
man,
do agree with
I
that.
just don't understand, right? I don't understand. I think that being a modern man and getting rid of these patriarchal ideas and traditionalism was the move, right? Especially understanding and acknowledging that women's progress in society is definitely important, and that means that certain things are just going to have to be expected. I understand her security needs to be, her physical security, making sure she's safe, she doesn't have any stalkers. Makes sense. That makes all the sense in the world, because nobody wants to deal with that. But I think it also makes sense. I don't want to pay for somebody who I may not end up liking. Right? Why should I do that?
But to go back to what Themis originally said, I think the contest to that was what he meant when he said carry 50% of the child. I think is that this is something that a man can't be equal to a woman in. So you said in a sexless a childless relationship, this works. But what
Sexless
about in
too.
a relationship
Sexless.
where
Yeah, sexless is fine too. Because you don't need sex to have a fruitful relationship with a woman.
So in a relationship where there is a child, how does something like this work? Wouldn't that be unequal? Isn't the woman now giving something from herself that you can't?
So this is assuming we're not following the 90 days anymore. We're not sticking to our principles. We
Well,
broke
the
them.
90-day rule was just a principle for how you think the relationship should be. And we were saying that there may be time in a relationship where you may not be able to or don't want to have sex, and that it's more important that you have something outside of that. And well, at least all of us believe that emotional, mental, and other intimacy is more important than sexual intimacy, and that a relationship should survive without that. And the 90-day rule is a good way of seeing whether or not this is something that you can do in your relationship. I don't think we were saying that you shouldn't never have sex, that you should have a sexless or childless marriage. Although the women are here, they can clarify if that's what they believe. That's not what I believe. No.
Okay, so we were saying we advanced past the stages of dating, and now we're in the marriage, or where are we at?
We are in any type of long-term relationship where the woman is bearing a child.
Okay, well, at that point, I guess we'll have to wait till the next rule book comes out. That kind of explains that to us. The 90-day man and 90-day woman. I don't know about the 90-day child rearing and things of that nature, but I'm assume if she does get pregnant, and she doesn't want to have the child, then you don't have to worry about the 50%, because in those cases, men don't have any say at all. But in the cases where you do want to have a child, and I guess he wants to have the child, and it's 50%. I guess maybe what is it, 9 months divided by 2? Pay for it that time, or do whatever you need to do in that time frame.
Pay for it. What about 2 years? That way she can have a year to birth the child, as well as a year to breastfeed if she chooses.
Sure. Yeah, let's do that. And then right back to work.
Do you think that's fair for you to provide for the duration of the pregnancy and for recovery time?
Sure, why not? I don't mind paying for that time
to
frame.
solely provide, not the part or the majority.
Ooh, Patty, you asking a lot from a modern man, buddy. I could do that. You know, why not? We may have to downsize as long as she's okay with that.
I mean, if you're going
I'm not
50-50
okay with
in the
that.
rest of the relationship, I feel like you don't have. I feel like I'll let the women respond.
Cantor says she not okay.
I'll let the women respond, but I feel like if you're going 50-50 for the rest of the relationship, as opposed to a traditional provider, I feel like you would have at least a good savings where you could provide for these years and then not
right,
have
but because we didn't marry for money, we would downsize and be frugal in that time frame so we could have more money, right?
No, she didn't marry you for money. Doesn't mean she's not going to make some. She's going to provide for her kids.
Wait, hold on. Wait. This woman is pregnant, right? So she can't work. Petty already established how this is going to work.
She can work. I just think
we'll figure it out.
Providing the option for someone not to work, at least for those.
Okay. So, all right. So when
obviously
you're saying
that's her personal choice.
Okay, got you. So when you say providing for her, for her not to work, if that requires downsizing, what's the problem?
That's a question you're gonna have to ask the ladies. This is a prepaid relationship. Not prepaid.
No. See, I think.
So let me clarify. I'm saying, so he's saying he wants to be in the 50-50 egalitarian relationship. Hold up. I'm sorry. We have Rihanna here. Welcome, Rihanna.
Oh, turn up. You did very well at the Super Bowl for a pregnant woman. She was working while she was pregnant. You could do the same.
we couldn't even tell you were pregnant. Just I love the performance. I don't know why you're here in my section of YouTube, but you want to
know who didn't like it? Themis.
I now have super chats, Rihanna. I understand you're a billionaire and $6 million is nothing to you. Rihanna, did you? I'm confused. Are you here? Welcome. What would you like to add?
Nothing, just like my Super Bowl performance.
I'm disappointed.
No way, this man is a menace. Themis, dog, you got to do better, man.
That was everything, Themis. That was everything.
I was suspicious.
Yo, that is hilarious. I'm not gonna cancel you.
I came on to talk to the person at the other end.
Cheeky.
Hello, Cheeky.
How you doing, Themis, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. As you can see, I'm causing a havoc.
Oh, you said men should have some say when women are pregnant. I didn't get that. Sorry, I was like clicking when you said that.
I don't think men should have some say if women are pregnant. If they want to do whatever they want to, they can.
Oh, all right. I thought you were saying something about 50-50 and like when they're
no. So your super chat, if you don't mind, could you explain it? Because it said men carry the child 50%. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Oh no, I was telling you to carry the child 50% of the time.
Ryan, what I'm saying is I can't do that, and since I don't have any control over that, then Petty brought up the analogy: don't let her work for what, 2 years? What Petty was it, 1 or 2 years, something like that? He must have went to the bathroom.
Where's Petty? Too loud. No, I'm trying.
So yeah, no, I can't control that. And if you want to do whatever you want to do with the child, what am I supposed to do with that?
Okay, but how does
Now,
50-50 work? Because I don't understand it. Like, are we
okay,
in a patriarchy?
so that was in the relation that was in relationship to dating, right? Now with a marriage, I think that's different. I don't
Okay.
know how that would work
So
because
if you
there's no
ask,
90-day.
wait, in a
Uh-huh.
in the dating situation, if you ask someone out, what happens?
They either say yes or no.
And if they say yes, they have to pay for the food that you ask them out to go get.
Well, it depends on the boundary set. Now, if she like if we both agree on the boundaries or if we both have our idea of a boundary set for dating.
Well, you don't know this woman. You just met this woman. You said, "Hey, I like you. Can I take you out?" What happens
Mm-hmm.
when you go out on a date?
What do you mean what happened? You either she
Who
says
pays?
yes and you go
Who
on the date.
pays?
Right.
Who pays
Huh?
for the date that you ask her out on?
Ooh, it depends. Am I following the men's 90-day rule or am I just doing what I'm doing?
I'm talking about you personally. I didn't hear a lot
Oh,
of.
me personally, I'm paying for it. Me
Oh,
personally, I'm
Yeah.
paying for it because at that point, if I'm asking you, it's nothing off my back to pay for something,
all
especially
right.
if
So the
I'm
90
doing
day
it.
rule now.
Oh, if it's a 90-day rule, no. I mean, it depends. I guess it was just it depends, right? Based off of the 90-day rule, I think the best thing to do is she pay for her half and I pay for my half
Why?
because I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm investing into, right? I know that I'm interested in this person physically, but I'm not sure what her character is, and I think that's what the date is about.
How is that different from you taking someone out? How does the 90 day rule make that differing factor for you?
Say that again. How is the 90-day? Say that one
You
more time,
said
please.
if you ask someone
Mm-hmm.
out, you will pay for it, presumably
Right,
because you asked someone out. If you have a
right.
90 day rule and you ask someone out, you don't pay for it because you don't know them. How did you know them in the first scenario?
Oh no, I don't pay for it because I'm not. I don't know if I'm going to assume it may be based on the fact that she has a 90-day rule, right? It's a
What
mitigator to.
is the 90 day rule? I don't sleep with you for 90 days.
Uh-huh.
Wait, that's it.
For the women,
For
that's
the
it. But for the
women.
men, Petty, could you pull it up?
Wait, no. All right, so the woman don't sleep with you for 90 days, and therefore you don't pay for the food. Do you see how that's a problem?
No. It's not just the food. There's more to it.
No.
So what's the?
From the woman's side only. The
Okay,
woman
so
is not gonna sleep with you for 90 days. Are you
uh-huh.
opposed to paying for the food even though you asked her out?
Based off that rule, I'm gonna have to say yes.
All right. So you think a date equals a sexual transaction of sorts?
For argument's sake, yes.
That's not funny. Like, do you realize how all right, sorry. Rewind.
Themis.
So
Wait.
not
Do
for
you think
argument's sake, your
no.
personal.
No, me personally, no. Right. My view on sex is not the same. But
So
for the
why?
art, but the,
So then why would you paying for the date change based on her 90-day rule? If that's or I mean, well, what do you believe? I think we're trying to get
so
to.
if you asking for personal beliefs, then I don't mind giving that. Right. I'm giving the argument as best as I can for the 90-day rule. For me personally, I wouldn't have a 90-day rule because, like I said before, if I'm currently celibate, then I've been doing this already, paying for women's date. And I actually end up on the opposite end where they may want to have sex, but I have to tell them no. Right. So if you're asking me personally, my personal lifestyle is I'm not having any sex with any women. I'm being celibate because of how I view sex and what I've seen sex do to women and the impact that it has. So when I'm going out on dates, I tend to go out on dates without the expectation of sex because I don't think sex is equivalent to just the food.
Do you think sex is for the man more than it is for the woman?
No, that's it's not supposed to be that way. I don't even think you're supposed to have sex unless you're married in my viewpoint, I would suggest both the man and the woman not have any sexual encounter,
Yeah.
because of the way sex affects the brain, and also the way it affects the psychology and the happiness of marriage, based off of what I've seen thus far. Um, the more sex that any person has, based on the statistics of the Institute of Family Studies, both percentages decline. Well, of course, it has more of an effect on women than it does the men. I know I'm getting crucified in the chat, Granville. They don't know. They don't know
No,
what I really.
I'm just listening to you bastardize a study.
Oh,
Just completely butcher it.
butchering what?
If there's not a causal nexus between how much sex you have and the marriage outcome, there is
No,
some
it's the happiness.
there is a correlation between it. Even the happy, well, I didn't read the happiness study, but there could not be a causal nexus. No social scientist is going to say sex causes you to be unhappy in marriage, or premarital sex causes you to be unhappy. Now,
So it was.
there is
It,
some study that says if you have good sex and then you go and date someone and marry someone who gives you bad sex, then happiness is likely to decline in that situation.
so the study I'm talking about, it was talking about the happiness based on the amount of sexual partners that a person may have and the percentages of that. The women's of the more amount of sexual partners a woman has affected based off of that study, the happiness within the marriage, but it also affected the men as well.
It's not affected. There is a correlation between one and the other. When you say affected, you're creating a causal nexus that is impossible to do.
Okay, sure. Okay, well, if you'd like to, I can just show you what it was I'm talking about, unless you've already read it and,
So,
and
Tiki,
you understand what I'm saying.
I think so. I made this example a few weeks ago on the podcast, maybe, I'm not sure, but around the time that the slaves were freed, there started to be research around happiness in the Black community, and happiness was on the decline ever since the slaves were freed. Just because I can't now say, oh, clearly freeing the slaves caused them to be unhappy. So we need to, like, I can't connect these things and say that they that one causes the other just because they correlate. Although I do agree with you that the data does say that people who have more partners are unhappier. I think have unhappier outcomes.
Reported it for it to be unhappy.
But
I'm just going based off what it says, right? So if we're going based off the technicalities of the semantics, by all means, I don't mind being
technicality of semantics is dangerous, because if you're making policies, one does not cause the other, even if one is likely to be the outcome based on the other, right? Like, it's very different, and for different people, the stats are going to show up differently.
Sure, right. I don't disagree with that.
So there could be other reasons why these people specifically are unhappy in their marriage. And I just gave one where maybe you had better sex when you weren't in a marriage, and now you're stuck in a marriage with a person who does not know how to please you.
It could be, right? That is a possibility of that. So I'm not against that. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And so that's why that would be a causal nexus if it were true. Not that it is true.
Okay. Well, so I see what you're saying, and I agree with you on that. Right? It was misspoke on my part.
So what I would encourage, actually, based off of that, is to do additional research, because I date people based on their education and their finances, because education and finances is a big predictor of how successful your marriage will be, specifically if you're dating a woman who has a similar income range and education to you. So yes, degrees matter, but I can't just say, oh, I'm going to find a partner with a lot of money because that makes the relationship better. The research I did has to do, I think, with the likeliness of a person to be a more stable partner based on them not being broke or uneducated and X, Y, and Z. So,
right.
I mean, I would encourage you to go and seek further if there is data out there regarding why people report or what could cause, I guess, bad marital outcomes, which there is data on that already. I don't know if there's data to link it to sex outside what Thema said around being with someone who gives you good sex and then being in a long-term relationship or marriage with someone who does not.
Right.
I mean,
So that
wait.
I don't
But
think that necessarily
clear,
changes
to
the
be
the
clear,
idea of the
that is a
having a. Go ahead. Go ahead, Themis. You were saying something. I couldn't hear you at first.
No. You can go ahead. Sorry, I think I spoke out of term.
Oh, it's all good. So I either way, I think all being said, if you minimize the amount of sexual partners you encounter, the likely chance or the percentage or the probability that you run into the issue of not being sexually fulfilled may be a lot lower, right? I think that's a fair assessment to say in regards to
No,
just sexual gratification.
that's not a fair assessment. You are saying if you have nothing to compare it to, then mediocre is good. Absolutely
I
not.
didn't I didn't say that. What I'm saying is how I can't what I'm saying is based off of what I was looking at, that seems to be the case. It seems to be the case. The probability of that being of you as a version running into another version, right? The happiness or at least the ability or the patience or whatever could be affected by the amount of bodies that you have, both men
Yes,
and women.
because you don't know. Again, we're working on my hypothesis. So then you don't know what you're missing, so you can't miss what you've never had. That is good and it works well. But how about people be better at pleasing their partners, particularly women?
Okay, well, that would be, I accept that as well, but that still doesn't change the fact that that patience. So, okay, so there's a lot of implication, which is fine. I'm fine with either or, right? I'm fine with you saying just learn your partner, which I think should happen, especially if you're in a healthy marriage. But if you're going to be too lazy not to do that, then that sounds like a personal problem. But if a person has a certain amount of sexual partners and they're used to a person just naturally getting it because that person may have a high amount of partners as well, then the expectation of the patience of that person is going to be low because not everybody wants to teach somebody something.
And that's unfortunate. If you're with a partner who does not want to teach you their body, that's terrible. That's a relationship set to fail.
Right. So again, we can make inferences, and I think that your inference is valid, just like mine would be or is. Um, so either could happen, right? I think the person who is in a relationship or in a marriage with somebody should be uh thoughtful enough to care about how to please the other person. Now, if that person, whether it be the male or the female, doesn't choose to do that, then that is definitely an issue. And I think it's an interpersonal issue than it is the quote unquote relationship. If you're not pleasing somebody, you should learn how to do it because you care for them. And the same thing should be able to be said for the woman as well. Although in most cases, it's man to woman and not woman to man.
Yeah. And the issue, though, you didn't say this, but part of the 90-day rule where the woman have no sex and the man decide, oh, I don't pay money, is because we've conceptualized sex, at least in the heterosexual relationship, as something that the man claims and the man gets and the woman gives, as opposed to both of them engaging to please each other. Because it's like, I buy you this, I give you money, I give you resource, and in return you give me sex, as opposed to more than sex companionship. And I think that framing of sex is probably one of the biggest problem in like the modern world, but it has been the problem ever, like throughout history.
I would agree. I think that the way that men view sex in a very general sense is very transactional and not as a relational thing that you do with someone you like or love.
Yes.
Um, and because of that, it does cause men to look at women in an objectified way to where you are a pleasure thing that I paid for, so do your job. That's not my view on sex. But if I have to go based off this 90-day rule, I got to try my best.
Yeah. So, Themis, we're reviewing women have obviously this 90-day rule was popularized by Steve Harvey for women not to have sex for the first 90 days. But today we were reviewing apparently men have made a response to this, and now men have their own 90-day rules. So Cheeky has for the most part been arguing for why this may exist, and why men may employ this rule. He said he's here to be the devil today, not the devil's advocate, and that's where we're
I
at.
didn't say I was here to be the devil.
I'll go right back to that comment and pull it up.
Please do so.
Nah, bro, I'm gonna probably be the devil. This was after I said,
say I would
"Are
be.
you here to?" This was after you said, "I'm here to be the contrary thinker." So I said, "Oh, you're here to play devil's advocate. We're always here for a devil's advocate." And your reply was, "I'm
No.
here."
You didn't just say that. You said you're not only we accept devil advocate, but we're not sure about the devil. And what that means is the equivalent of devil is red pill adjacent or manosphere adjacent. So I know more than likely, if you watch my videos, you're going to say I'm red pill adjacent or whatever.
I
So I
feel
said,
like
nah, bro.
I feel like you're going off on a tangent. You said you were going to be the devil.
Petty.
That's what we were talking about.
No, Petty, don't do this.
You said I brought the receipt up, and now you want to. Well, technically, I was.
But it was based off that receipt was based off of your words, Petty. Don't do that. It was sent after your words were said.
But would you guys like to? It sounds like you agree with you agree with Themis now at the very least. Would y'all like to go through the final 90
couple
day quickly? So we left off on no picking her up from her place. Number 5 was no helping her with her kids if she had any. Number 6 was no display of emotions. We went through number 7, which was no displays of public affection. Number 8, no meeting her friends or family. And number 9, no helping her with any bills. Obviously, no display of emotion, I feel, is extremely problematic. No helping her with her kids if she has any. I mean, Bourbon Bougie, that's whose video this is. She said she agrees with that rule because she don't want her kids around everybody. I think it's fine I understand I'm not on the first date about to be feeling like you should be introducing each other to kids or something. But again, if you're dating seriously and you're planning to be in a long-term relationship or marriage where you will become a stepfather, I don't think it's bad to help out with the kids. Maybe you're not going to be buying them a new car or something, but I do think your dating should look like what your relationship will look like. And if you're going to be helping the kids in the relationship, I think it's fine to do that outside of. Maybe you would limit you seeing the children since this is the first 90 days. So, I mean, I don't know that I have an issue with that. Not meeting her friends or family. She said she was okay with it. I guess I'm okay with that. If you're traditional, then I think this is contradictory to traditional views. So I don't know how you would hold that. But I don't think that's bad if you don't feel like you need to meet each other's extended, anybody until after that. And number 9 was no helping her with any bills. Now I was surprised to learn that men are out here paying rent and utilities, because maybe I'm just not in the financial bracket that men are in these days. I am a janitor too currently, and that is obviously as lucrative as it sounds. So, paying someone's bill, I think that seems extreme to me if you're not at least in a long-term relationship. So
when you say pay their bill, do you mean like they need help and you help them, or like continuously paying someone's bill?
I would assume.
I don't think I was clarified.
Yeah, they don't clarify.
They didn't
So it's
clarify that
kind
part.
of up to interpretation. If it's helping someone, I assume if you're dating someone, you're going to want to help them. I would say don't pour out of an empty cup. Make sure that you're financially stable before you start, helping someone. Hopefully you would be put together. But like, to watch someone starving and you're dating them, that feels weird to me. So I don't think I have a hard stop. I don't think it should be a hard stop. Again, I plan to help with bills in a long-term relationship and marriage. So I don't think I see a problem with helping with bills while I'm dating. I'm probably not going to be paying somebody's rent while I'm dating. But a utility, phone bill, or something like that. I mean, I feel like you can give in a limited way and still show qualities of what you'll do in a relationship without overextending yourself and paying somebody rent back to back.
I'm going to get canceled right now.
Uh-oh.
If I were dating, like, Generally, my advice is if you have to continuously pay someone's bill that you're not married to, that person, man or woman, I don't think is ready to be in a relationship. I don't think they have been able to stand on their own enough yet. So that's my take, but I'm for helping people. But if I have to continuously pay your bill as we date, regardless, I'm going to have a problem with that.
You're having a debate soon, right?
Me?
Yeah, Rihanna.
Yes, I think so.
What in the debate's going to be, is it should poor people date or broke people date or something like that?
No, it's broke boys don't do. I'm kidding. Um,
I don't see the disagreement. That's true.
all right, we're in agreement then. Period.
Well, I need to hop over there for that debate because I need to know: is it broke people dating each other? Is it broke people dating wealthy people? Is it broke
Okay, but see, oh, real quick, I'm gonna throw a wrench in there, right? Broke men don't deserve sex, and broke women don't either.
Okay. But no, look, this I feel like we're assuming that with the rule with the paying the bills that the other person can't pay their bills. I think that's an assumption we're making. I don't think that necessarily if someone a man could just be merely there are men out here who do enjoy being providers, and so that's something that they like to do, they want to do, they offer to do, but that doesn't mean that the woman that they're doing it for can't pay her own.
Lord, whatever you put in these men, don't put it in me, please. I can't handle it. Don't.
Don't do it. See, don't do that. He's showing
What?
support.
So
But you
Granville
need some
said
more
he's.
zeros in your behind your bank account. That's what he's doing for him. You do want that, Petty.
I don't have a zero in my bank. Well, I do have one. It's at -30. There was an overdraft fee. I don't know why they would take money from something that doesn't have money. Anyway, Granville said these
Yeah.
viewpoints are literally 180 degrees. He calling us out. He said we hypocrites.
No. He's not calling. That's a direct message to me. Because when I sent the message out, hey, come watch Patty's live. There could be some ghost watchers, to be honest. I was telling them I think it'll be good because we reacted to Themis and Thoth before. So he's responding to me. I said like this is going to be the complete opposite of the manosphere because people didn't know what to expect. So it's not a call out.
So you usually venture into the manosphere and somehow you found us. I mean, I guess that was good.
I found y'all through my from my women viewers and subscribers because somehow, some way they intermingle. I know why they intermingle. They intermingle because I try to be fair and give them a voice. Right? I am not the one who is saying women can't do this, women can't do that. I'm the one that gives them the wrenches, and they're known as the terrorist.
You were responding. You've responded to me.
Huh?
You said you've responded to me before.
Yeah,
responded.
he was on the podcast. Remember? Well, he wasn't on, but he sent.
I sent super chat saying because you was talking with Eric, who was somebody who I know because he's in that same sector. All right, we know each other. I know who he is. Whenever I see him, I let him up. But I was saying you were trying to have a conversation, and you got a little not upset, but you got frustrated. And then I sent the super chat, hey, I think you can have this conversation, but only with certain people. I'm willing to have the conversation in good faith, right?
Oh, I remember that super chat.
Yeah, so I'm the person who sent the super chat. And the way I found out about your channel was from the women subscribers on my channel, and they were telling me, hey, you should go watch Themis and Thoth because they know how I kind of approach conversations. It's not like I'm not willing to admit if I'm wrong. I'm willing to have an open dialogue and have a good faith conversation, and even let the women say whatever they want to say. And when you look into the chat, it's typically not good. Not on my part, but just because I have a lot of manosphere people come up. Sometimes I agree, sometimes I disagree. Sometimes I get rowdy. But it's pretty much the women that they all kick out and time out, and then I give them a wrench.
Well, we can have a conversation separately. This is fetish chat, so I won't say because I'm curious as to what you agree with. But I'm done. That's it, Petty. I'm sorry.
We can have a short after show if you guys would like. Granville says Brokies isn't gendered and scammers love calling simps providers. SMH. He calling y'all scammers. He said
They
y'all
are.
got these men simp paying bills, and that is simping. I don't think it's, again, regardless of my views of how society should be, I do think an individual is entitled to how they want to structure their relationship. That includes women who want a provider, men who want submission or whatever. Live, laugh, love, and just what you want in a relationship. There's somebody out there for you. So I'm not going to dictate what people do in their relationships. I don't think providing is simping. Yeah, I mean, maybe if you have someone saved as the food guy, then he's simping. If he knows, then I would call it simping. But I don't
Someone
think
said in college, broke people date, and I agree.
They shouldn't. They should focus on graduating and leave that alone.
As a man, why are you broke? Don't you feel like you shouldn't be?
No.
Oh, okay. Let me. The last and most
What are you
important
saying?
the last and most important one before I go into the after show. Number 6 was no displays of emotions. So we all feel like this is like bad, right, and unhealthy, and like, why are you dating if you can't even display? I know a lot of men who feel a type of way about being vulnerable with their girl, but to not even display emotion at all. That seems just unhealthy. Generally, that seems unhealthy.
I'm a fruitcake. This is beyond me. I have to jump out of this convo now.
Okay, thank you, Rihanna. I do unfortunately regret. Never mind. Let me not finish that sentence. Let me not. It's just ASAP is a lucky person. I'll say that. And you didn't send super chat for $6 million, and it's fine, even though that's just a drop in the bucket for you. But
lucky is this prenup he's about to sign. That's what lucky.
No, he not. Gonna drop another baby.
Thank you everybody for joining. I will have a short after show for anyone who wants to have final thoughts. This was also a smoke session for anybody who had any issue with the comments that I said last week, or any time that I've said any comments. If anybody has disagreed with anything that I have said and you would like to come in the after show, you can. But I'm gonna play my
give money back to your parents. You owe your parents an obligation.
No, I owe my parents nothing. Excuse, you don't get to mic drop.
I knew he was gonna do
that. And then dipped out. Like,
yo, look at that.
WCL. I have no clue who this is. WCLLR. Fun. Cool. I think that was Beyonce. Actually, this might be her. Thank you. What do I even do to that?
A double dab. I don't know.
Maybe this was a mistake. Did you mean to send $5? Please let me know. I'm gonna play my intermission, and then we can get straight into the after show, guys.
Okay.
You really want to catch fucking 350 pounds of dude in your ass?
Of course.
Sounds like a good time.
That's a good time to me. He hop on my meeting, he start riding me. I said, Daddy, don't stop it. Look how he drop it. Just like a pilot, I'm all in his cockpit. I lick the cock tip, I let the cock drip.
So if any of you wanted to add
Yo, what the yo?
I just don't. How do you you don't get to mic drop and hop off? Like, come and be here and be dragged. You don't get to anyway. If anybody had any final thoughts on anything, any of these rules, any of the homies wanted to say something. I think you guys wanted to talk about the homies. We didn't get into it earlier, or any disagreements.
Sure, I'll go. Thank you for having me. And I just wanted to say two things that, I have been abstinent for a couple of years and I have yet to regret it because it's like it's always something crazy or weird or odd or strange or a deal breaker that comes out when you're dealing with someone, But, we march on, keeping hope alive over here. And then also, I wanted to say that uh, I know Cheeky was mentioning a lot with it's not traditional or that's not traditional or this is modern and that's modern. I don't feel like everything needs to be a complete opposite or a complete flip of one or the other. Like I feel like you can have things with you can add on or things can evolve. It doesn't either have to be like, oh, you're either traditional or you're either modern. Like I feel like there's room for things to have a gradient to it, if you will. So everything doesn't have to be hard this or hard that. Everyone can kind of find their footing, which wherever they're leaning to. So basically I'm saying it doesn't have to be, oh, you're just only traditional or oh, you're only just a modern man or woman. So that's all I wanted to say. It's been great. I've enjoyed it.
Thank you for coming on.
I understand and I agree.
Yeah,
I
and
just
you
got a
can, if
message.
somebody addresses you on the panel, you can obviously respond to them.
Okay.
Okay.
Cantor or Passe.
Well, this was an interesting live.
Don't do that. Just say it. Say my name.
And also, when you were talking about colleges and someone said broke people date, that sounds like a dating app that I don't want to be on. It's just, I don't know. At this point, this whole life, like that, the list is stupid. That 90-day men's list is just dumb.
Sexist.
I don't care. It's just dumb. There's nothing else to say. It's just dumb. The whole thing is dumb.
Misandry.
Passe and Cheeky. I saved you guys for last. Wait, do y'all know WCL LR?
That does not look familiar at all.
Okay. I think this is my first time seeing them. I don't see any other comments in the chat. It just said fun.
Why am I getting threatened?
we have some ghost watchers who just felt like I need $50. Again, if this was a mistake and you meant to send 5, please let me know, because that is a lot of money. That is 10.
They saying it's dusty in here. What's up with them? Why they so mean?
Where they said that it is quite dusty in here, and this isn't
Petty.
This isn't on you guys' part. To be fair, the channel is just dusty. Obviously, you've seen me through Themis. Unfortunately, I'm not as cultured, and there is a fair amount of niggatry in here. So there we do engage in niggatry from time to time. But you guys may give your final thoughts if you would like.
There's no need to threaten people. Okay. If you see me in the streets, I'm 5'6". Don't do that. All right. I know.
4'11".
What is that?
4'11". That's my height.
No, the highlighting.
She's writing in demonic Roman. You don't speak the language of like demons or nothing like that.
I think I watched like one episode of like Inuyasha, and then I tried it.
And let me see. Wake Up Makeup Slay said she sent a super chat. I did see the one that said thanks for having me up. Let me see if there was another one. Or was that you? Wake Up, the WCL?
No.
Let me see if I can find it. How did one get by me? Sex is okay. Yeah, I did miss this. Sex is a skill. Skills can be learned and improved upon. The amount of sexual partners does not equate to exceptional sex. We have sex resources now. I think she was saying this to say that just, I guess, having one partner doesn't mean that you're going to be with somebody terrible. I still would encourage. I generally encourage people to. Have y'all ever heard of the hoe phase?
No. Go ahead, just say it. Just say I encourage you. I encourage men to be a what?
Oh no, not men. Generally, I think people should explore sexually. That can be with one person, it can be with multiple, or however you want to explore. But I do think the idea of someone never having an orgasm and they're in a relationship where they're having orgasmless sex, but they don't have any frame of reference. So this is just normal. It is, to me, it's problematic. Like, my first relationship was abusive and it was my only frame of reference. I had never been in a meaningful relationship before where I didn't have anybody being abusive or anything like that. So if I had have just dated and stayed with the first person I was with, I might have just thought, oh, this is just how a normal relationship works and this is just how it is. But because I've dated around now, and I'm a little older and more experienced, now I know that there is relationship where it can be meaningful and not like toxic and stuff like that. So I think it can be the same for sex. Like, I think generally you may have to sleep around, as bad as that sounds, to find out what you like, what you're into, what feels good and stuff like that, as opposed to just being with one person. Now, if you're with one person and it feels good to you and everything's great, I don't think you should just up and leave for the sake of going to get some sexual experience. But I do worry about someone potentially being in something that they don't realize is bad because they don't have a frame of reference. But Wake Up Makeup Slay says you can Google these days. We have resources. So yeah, I don't.
This is Bizarro land.
This is the opposite end. I told you.
Yeah.
It was a decent stream. I didn't know that. I was really. I don't know how to explain it. I really don't know how to explain it, from you to your panelists to the chat. Like, sheesh. Yo, I just might be the sugar bum over here, bro. Pause.
Well,
Like, this is wow. I don't know what to say. I guess I'll watch more streams to see how it goes, but yeah,
that's why I invited y'all over here.
So to wrap around, because somebody just said it. Where is it? This is also why you should give the homies head. You never know.
No, see, come on, bro. Like, why?
Pause, bro. Right. Jesus.
So, Passy, are you saying you do agree with that?
Pause. Stop. Don't.
Let me not. You know what? Never mind. Because you just said you was gonna stick around. Let me not.
Do the whole man.
Oh my goodness! Somebody was saying, "Where's Tiffany?" She was saying that in the chat. Some other people were saying that in the chat. He says 2 out of 10. I was confused for most of it. Thank you for.
Why you read it like how we both read it in the same way?
But yeah, we do. I mean, like, giving the homies head is something that I used to feel like.
Yo.
Well, I'm just saying, for the sake of crazy, like, what this channel is like, what it's done for me to be able to have conversation with a lot of people is maybe my ideas are wrong.
They're gonna crucify you, bro. If anybody comes over here and sees this shit, they're gonna crucify you.
You gotta expand. You can't be in an echo chamber. And this is the
I
complete
get it. No, you have to expand your horizon. No, I totally get it. I mean, you see how I've acted today. I haven't been my normal self today. I've been pretty chill.
Let's actually, since you said people might come over here, let's see what they might see. Let's watch one of my shorts.
Nah, bro, don't watch his shorts. Nah, bro, his shorts is crazy. No, his shorts is crazy. Turn your volume down, dog. Turn it down, bro. He done said some wild stuff.
We don't have to. I just wanted to, just quickly close out with just one of them.
No, we don't. I mean, bro, we don't really have to. Like, we can watch it on our own. You don't got to display it. We can.
What the fuck is
no, like, but Petty, what I'm saying, Petty, what I'm saying is, like, it's cool.
No way. They allow that on fucking YouTube?
Yes, bro, it's crazy.
Yeah, you can
Just
talk
don't.
about women and men and stuff like that on YouTube. And
Petty, we good. We got it.
so we have the problem with modern women and we have the problem with black women, because I feel like neither of these problems is being addressed in a meaningful way. Which one do you guys want to watch? And then we can
No,
talk.
None,
Petty. No,
none. I
Petty,
don't want
we
to watch
cool.
any of
We
those.
just saying like we appreciate you for letting us up on the. You can actually bring that down. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
please.
I'll tell them that I'm trying to instill investigative, you know, critical thinking. So I don't want you to show them. I need them to find out on their own. Please don't show it. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, work with me here.
Okay, Chika. Well, I'll check out your channel and see what you have to offer as far as ideas. And let's see. I'm over here, and yeah. Okay.
Okay.
We'll see
So
what's
I'll get
going
my
on
last
over here.
words and then we'll get up out of here. All right.
Oh
We
yeah,
want
yeah.
no smoke. All right, we good. Okay. No more videos. No more nothing. We straight. All right. No more
Y'all didn't
questions.
want to quickly the problem with
No,
No,
modern.
come on, bro. Like, nah, we good. We
no,
straight. Like,
please.
come on, bro. Like, you
Look,
got it. You got it. The
Okay.
intimidation
doesn't
factor
know
is
me.
working. You got it.
Don't know me. No.
Well, be sure to go
He
watch
said,
my.
"Don't know me, no."
My apologies again.
Like y'all, like you
If
should
I have
understand that, right?
if I have offended or made you feel any type of way, questioning sexuality or just discomfort at all, then I do apologize. I don't want to make y'all uncomfortable by sexual anything. So I do apologize for that. But with that being said, thank you guys for coming. I'm going to go ahead and play my outro and get out of here. Thank you everybody in the chat
So
too.
when do you normally go live?
Well,
He
isn't
don't.
that normally is the word there that I probably wouldn't use.
He's a terrible streamer.
Yeah. Look, so the thing is, when it comes to schedule, I don't have one. So I mean, we're
So you're
supposed
a
to
free
do
spirit.
once on Saturdays or Sundays. Generally, that's when I'm supposed to stream. But it was the Super Bowl yesterday, so and then my chat said we don't care, but it was too late. I already canceled. So but I'm trying to do one video a week and one live stream on the weekend. I just happened to be here today to give you guys what you were asking for, which was is it gay to give the homies head?
Nobody asked for that, by the way. Just to let you know.
Yeah,
So
I'm
Nobody
out
on
of
this
here.
panel.
I'm not gonna
Nobody
do
on this
this
panel.
anymore.
Nobody on
I'm
this
not gonna
panel
do
asked
this
for that.
anymore. I'll catch you lives later.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, they definitely. I just wanted to prove
On
this
this
is not
panel.
unprovoked.
On this panel.
I asked what would my audience like to see, what would my subscribers, nearly 500 people voted. 50% of people wanted to know, is it gay to give the homie head? 26% wanted to know why men get aggressive to women who reject them. 12% wanted to talk about transracial versus transgender and whether they're both valid. And 11% wanted to talk about Oreos, black people who are white on the inside, black on the inside, talk white and stuff like that. Overwhelmingly, people wanted to know, is it gay to give the
Man,
homie?
I'm gonna give my last words and get up out of here. You got it, bro. You
All right.
look, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Petty, appreciate you for letting me on. All right, appreciate the audience. Y'all trying to roast me, or y'all did roast me. All right, it's all love. I understand it's the internet. Y'all just say what y'all want to. Hopefully I can come back again without all the foolishness and whatnot from you. But appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a nice night. Again, I don't know what to think. Besides, it was cool getting the opposite end of the manosphere. I'll be trying to expand my horizon. Not too far though, Petty. Don't try to take it and run with it. See you.
All right. Thank you for joining. So guys, we're going to end there. I do want to thank everyone who came on the panel, and thank you everyone who sent super chats. Thank you, Wake Up Makeup Slay, for coming up here with the 17 years of experience to drag when the drag needed to be drigging and doing it. And thank you, WCL. Let me go and find that super chat. A $50 super chat that said fun. I'm here for it. And again, if that was a mistake, please let me know. I'm going to put my email across the bottom. There's the email. Someone asked for my Cash App earlier. It's across the bottom. It is TBMOTH. My face will pop up when you put it in. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Oh, we got one more. Granville said, literally, that whole list is misandry. Wait, were you talking about the list of options for which one do you guys want to vote for? I don't think that's giving the homies head. I don't think that's misandry. If anything, I think what is the opposite of misandry? Let me Google that real quick and we'll end on that. Misandry opposite. I feel like you must be holding men of a high regard. If this is something you're willing to do with your friends, I feel like it's the opposite of misandry. And I'm not talking about misogyny. Philanderist, I think. Philanderist, that's someone who really loves men. So get your philandry on. Good night, guys. Have a good evening. And I'll see you guys at the next one.